Hello everyone and welcome to the GeoGuessr World League. We're back, Siggy, we're back. It's week 17. I'm Toby, joined by Siggy. And yeah, if you haven't been tuning in already, first of all, where have you been? Secondly, welcome. You're in for a joyous Sunday with plenty of GeoGuessr action coming your way. You can tell we're excited too. We've been laughing, screaming, waiting for the countdown timer to reach 0 because we're so thrilled to get this week's set of matches going. Siggy, first of all, my man in white, how are you today?
Yeah, it's a good day.
I like what you've done with your hair. Did something special happen to your hair today?
Yeah, I just took a shower. So
Whoa!
should be a bit more curly than usual. Because
there you go.
Technically, I have curly hair, but I usually just straighten it out.
No, don't do that. Keep the curls,
yeah.
man. Keep the curls. I like it. And again, for the sake of any new viewers out there, we know there are quite a few of you. We appreciate you guys coming in, tuning in, watching these tournaments. Let's briefly go over how exactly GeoGuessr works. Because it really is quite simple. You hop on Street View, or well, you get tossed on there, really, onto our dear and beloved planet. And you get put down somewhere where there is Street View coverage. And then it's up to you to figure out exactly where you are based on all the various meta knowledge that you might have available on screen. And then, obviously, you play this against an opponent. The closer you are to the target, the more points you get. And the difference between your guess and your opponent's, well, the one who's the furthest away from the target, take that as damage. The most points you can get is 5,000, being a 5k. And yeah, that's really how the game works. So now, of course, game modes. There are 3 of them. Siggy, please.
Yeah, in the GeoGuessr World League, we do have 3 game modes in play, and we always do it the same order. We always start off the match with a moving game, where the players can move around freely, can look at stuff, and make their guess based off that. Second game will always be no move, where the players are stuck in a location, but they can still look around, zoom around in the location. And if a tiebreaker is needed, if it's 1-1 after 2 games, there will be a no moving, panning, or zooming game, which basically is just an image, really. And that decides the game if it's needed.
Exactly. And as you can see here, very simple, very straightforward scoring format. As all these matches that are played are best of 3s. And should you go out and win yourself a 2-0, you get all 3 points available. But should it become a 2-1 result, taking us into that third game, then it is a 2-pointer for the winner, and 1 point goes to the loser. Very straightforward, and all these points, of course, take us into the leaderboard. Which, as you can see now, we find ourselves in week 17 of 21, so we're getting closer to the end, Siggy. And I feel like already now we are starting to kind of chalk up what's going to be a very, very exciting finish to this league. Because up and around those 50s right now, whew, it's looking close.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very close in the last few weeks. We see between 52 and 46, it's going to be 10 places. And it's only 6 points, which you can gain in a single day. That's 2-0 victories. And that really decides who gets in the World Cup at the end, because the cutoff is at 12. Technically, you also get points through the regionals, but you definitely want to be above that 12th place or even 10th place before the regionals start to be safe.
Exactly, and speaking of the regionals, you little spoiler, throwing it out there before we get to see the screen. He was just too excited to see it. Here is a new graphic that we have for all of you. As you can see, and as you probably know by now, there has been 3 regional majors announced in APAC, in Americas, and in EMEA. And by the way, do !APAC in chat, because the tickets for the APAC major have been set out for sale. So hop on over there, make sure to get them. There aren't a lot of them available as far as I know. If you are in Japan, if you want to go to Japan on May 18th and get yourself a chance to get into the Tokyo Tower to watch some GeoGuessr, get those tickets now, because there are only so many of them available. But having said that, there's a lot happening on screen here. Please, Siggy, take us through exactly what we're looking at.
Yeah, maybe we should go from left to right here. We see the APAC Majors qualifiers. We do see Eamon right now with Spaghetti, barely on the cusp. I feel like Feneb and Sheena are safely in. But then we also see 2 followers with Karania and Ken who can still make it mathematically. So it will be definitely very interesting to see, because we do see Eamon's games today. And he needs to put up some wins to get as far away as possible from that 6th place. Meanwhile, in Americas, there's pretty much only a 1v1 going on between Gingy and Ocean Man for the last spot. It's gonna be a photo finish. I think Ocean Man has played the same amount of games as Gingy, so it's basically just a 1-point difference. So it's gonna be a photo finish at the end. Meanwhile, in Europe, I feel like a lot can still happen. I feel like Mada and V89 could still drop out for somebody like Malfunction, Armani, or Clement. That's what I would predict. Maybe even somebody like Pan, because Pan did beat RC last week. So I was very impressed with that. So if he can beat RC, he can beat anyone. And as we get to see, it's a 5-point difference even between Pan and somebody like Mada. So anything can really happen. But I really like this graphic.
In EMEA, I mean, me too. It really sets the lineup pretty nicely. And I feel like in EMEA, I mean, Clement, Malfunction, Armani, Pan, I would say Clement, Malfunction, and Pan are all these players that we haven't seen too much on a global stage before that have started to really kind of feed into the underdog mentality. Clement taking out multiple very high-ranked players. Pan, you say, taking out RC as well. And Malfunction also, just lately, has been playing incredibly well. Armani, too, we've seen him on the global stage before. We know what he's capable of doing. So EMEA is definitely going to be a race all the way to that finish line. Now, though, let's take a look at what we got coming your way today, because we have a stacked lobby. And we're starting off with Harrier, Zigzag, into Lennli, Leero, Finbarr, Leero, Harrier, Karania. I mean, then we're ending up with 2 world champions in Blinky versus Armani and Consus versus Finib. This is insane. Like, the quality of matches we're going to have today, Ziggy. Woohoo! Maybe that's why we got so excited, because we got to see the schedule earlier.
Yeah, I mean, even the games that are not on stream are also worth mentioning. We do have Karania versus Consus, Lennli versus Eamon. I mean, I wouldn't mind watching these matches. Like, these are all very insane matches, but we always want to show a variety of players, obviously, so we're not going to put the same players over and over. But I really like the picks for today. So
no, it's going to be good.
Very excited.
Usually there are streams on Twitch covering the games that we are not. I'm not sure who it is today, so I can't do any shout-outs. But
I can shout out Young Eddie 4 and Gelotrus. They're both
there you
doing
go.
It, so
there you go.
Shout
Gelotrus, Young Eddie, out there doing the community good in showing some of these matches that we aren't, because we just simply can't show all the games. We'd be doing a 2-year broadcast for a 1-year show, and that would be too much. It would take too long. So you know what? Without any further ado, let's get into game number 1. It's gonna be exciting. Yeah. Again, this schedule is stacked, so there's no reason to wait any longer. And if you guys are wondering, like, guys, stop talking, start game, you can always listen for. Wait, the music changed. Something happened. Is it? That usually means that the game is about to start. It usually is the telling tale of the matches coming your way. And Ziggy, being the pro between the two of us in terms of GeoGuessr knowledge, by all means, please do talk me through these 2 great players we're about to see.
I mean, 2 great players and 2 great content creators, and also for a very long time. I mean, everyone knows Zigzag that is familiar with GeoGuessr, but maybe not everyone is familiar with Harrier, who's also been putting out content for a long time now. So I'm very excited to see these 2 content creators face off, especially the jump Harrier has done in the past few months in skill is insane. So I think we're in for a treat, especially I feel like Harrier has the upper hand in the moving game, and after that, anything can really happen.
Definitely. Get a quick little glimpse there from the production, pressing all the buttons at the same time, seeing that, of course, the World Cup finals are coming your way in Copenhagen at the end of August. But for now, it's this match that's on our hands. Zigzag has started just giga farming NPC games on stream, and is also rapidly increasing his average guessing time from week to week, now down to 30. But as you can see, they're both set there, just exactly inside the top 12, and they want to stay there. So many points available between these 2. They got to log in and get these games going. So let's get straight into it, into game number 1. And as per usual, Zigzag is there right away.
I was about to say, what is that sound? But it's just an instant guess by Zigzag in France. He is known for being pretty good at vibe guessing something like France, so maybe he knows it.
Let's see if he is. A little bit further down towards Toulouse, but both of them within reach nonetheless. And I think this is gonna be the challenge for Harrier today. As we can see in the statistics, average time 7 seconds longer on his guesses, but yes, we say Zigzag averages 30 seconds. I feel like if we were to only take the last couple of weeks into consideration, it's more like 22-23. Because as soon as he gets a good vibe, as you were saying, he's instantly there. So Harrier won't have a whole lot of time to maneuver around a Zigzag is going to try and put the pressure on.
Yeah, especially because he knows Harrier has put a lot of time into learning, especially European countries where you can learn phone codes and stuff, or like how the road numbering system works. So I feel like he has a better chance at winning if he just sends on locations like that.
Yeah. As you can see here, feeling the pressure already. It's difficult when you're trying to play a moving game, but your car can barely even get started before Zigzag already gets his guess in. We'll see here. As we get into round number 3, those damage multipliers keep on stacking up. Now, predictions would have Harrier better in this area, but...
we are in Germany, and he has learned the Landkreise, but he gets to another sign. I couldn't read whatever it said there. Maybe it said Berlin, because he instantly zoomed into Berlin.
Yep, a lot of info available.
And it does say Berlin.
Wow, Harrier on point with that one. But again, I mean, this feeds into Zigzag strategy. Taking these couple of 100-point losses every now and again isn't really that big a deal. He can probably, he could effectively tank it all the way down to 1,000 health before it starts getting scary. He's looking for, I mean, this is the playstyle that he's utilizing that we've seen V89, MK trying to utilize as well with the very fast guesses, especially in moving rounds, is that they're waiting for that big error. The time where he gets a good vibe guess in and Harrier simply just doesn't have the time to get a good pinpoint down.
Ooh, and that's going to be big for Harrier because we do have Ankara province signs. These are specific to the province of Ankara. And now he can find the town, and he did find Nalihan, which was on the bin. So this is going to be huge damage.
Definitely could be. 2.5 times multiplier. Let's see how much it's going to turn into. Is it going to be a 5k? Ooh, not quite, close, but plenty of damage and nonetheless 2,000 at that. A little more than what I think Zigzag would be hoping for this early on in the game.
Yeah, and this really showcases how much Harrier has learned. I mean, he knows that town, so it's not going to be easy for Zigzag. He is probably sticking to a strategy here, just sending over and over. Doesn't want to bother with moving against Harrier.
Exactly. He's a great player. I feel Harrier is one of the players that everyone's been saying, like, he's the guy who's been grinding. I mean, they both are, to be honest. But Harrier, between all pros, have been talked about as one of the guys up there. Both of them. Zigzag takes his head back a little more casually. Harrier with a big facepalm there on the complete opposite end of Greece. Not something you usually see, but of course, with Zigzag putting pressure on, they do not have a whole lot of time to work with.
Yeah. I mean, both of them are playing an insane amount of games, but I feel like Harrier has a bit of more of a systematic approach. Meanwhile, Zigzag just spams games over and over. Both have their pros and cons, but we shall see who comes up on top. We are in Russia, though, and we do have spring coverage. That usually means Dagestan.
Yeah.
So, like Zigzag already has a good vibe for this location. I quite like his guess.
All the way down towards the Georgian border. Ends up kind of micro-adjusting his way a little bit further towards the north. But let's now see Harrier. 7 seconds left to work with. In and around the same area. East coast as well. East coast. Towards the lake. Well set up. They're both going to be close. Harrier looking into the air going, whew, closer. Appreciated.
Yeah, Zigzag's first guess was very, very close. And then he ended up a bit more north because we did not see the mountains that you see usually in the south. You would see the Caucasus Mountains. So he decided to go a bit further north, but did not pay off here.
Let's see now. 4 times damage multiplier as Zigzag takes it to Cambodia. Early on, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, again, this is a very line-upable location, I would say, because we do have a major highway, and there's not that many major highways in Cambodia that you just have. I mean, there's not that many. So maybe possible to line it up.
Well, towards the north, neither of them found the signs they were looking for. I mean, I don't think Zigzag had a whole lot of time to even look for any. But Harrier went down the street for a bit. Didn't get all the info that he wanted. So both of them off by a smidge as well. But look at this, Harrier barely scraping down below 5,000 health as we make it into round number 8.
And Zigzag will not be happy to see this because we are in the UK here. And Harrier instantly zooming to Northern Ireland, which could be a problem because Northern Ireland so far away from the rest of the UK, really. And meanwhile,
he's given the time, though, which, I mean, okay, so now the guess does come through, but more time than what he usually would have had to work with. Now we get signs.
Very good information, and it is not an island. Omagh is a town. Yes, he found it. that's gonna be the game, I think, here.
Very
Huge
well
damage.
could be. Yeah, he's shaking his head. Zigzag knows that something doesn't feel right with this. Guess it is going to be North. It is going to be Harrier on point. The GG's through already as 3,474 damage comes the way of Zigzag. And game 1 goes to Harrier. Now, keep in mind, of course, for the Zigzag fans over there going, no! Zigzag does drastically appreciate no moving and NPC over moving, as far as I'm aware. So look to see him try and strike back here.
Yeah, the problem here is always that like the entire player base has the same amount of skill pretty much in the no move mode, so it's definitely going to be hard to get a very high win rate on this mode.
Casual average of 4,901.
4,900. I mean, I wonder if that's like one guess or more than one guess.
I think in order to the statistic, in order for you to bring up that statistic, you have to have had at least 2 guesses in the country.
Oh, okay.
So it can't just be, hey, I 5K'd once. Haha, what a sick average, bro. It has to be a little more than that. But that's not. It could be nice if we get under the statistic how many guesses they've had in the country as well. But maybe that's for the graphics department to look into. Zigzag, as we know, we'll get the first guess in. These two guys, almost identical distance to the target, a mere 8 damage.
8 points to start off this game.
Flick off the wrist, you know, not too much happening there. Round number 2 takes us once again out into the open. A few more houses to go between this time around.
Yeah, we do have a hook pole here, which usually you find in Latvia, but this looks like more like Croatia or Slovenia. And I think we did have a blue car, and that does not really happen in Slovenia that often, so I quite like the Croatia guess here.
Let's see where Harrier ends up going. Is joining in Croatia, swinging around Zagreb further down towards the south, and nope, should have opted to stay north. Never opted to look up there in that direction to begin with. Damage goes the other way. Round number 3 coming our way now. Once again, Zigzag trying to strike back. Currently flawless. 2 rounds into this match. As we go into what looks like, I don't know.
Looks like a cool location. Finally,
Garbage
something
dump?
where they have to think a bit more. We do
More
have a
blue
blue car
cars?
here.
What are you thinking, Zig?
Well, it's between Chile, Argentina, or Mexico here. But I feel like we are in Chile. Just by how dry it is. So I'm not very sure.
Yep, Zigzag quick on the vibe. Guess north side of Santiago. Harrier almost in the exact same area, just a bit further towards the north. We'll see who's going to get it. Zigzag, wow, completely on point with this one. That's going to be big damage coming through. Almost 1,800, sending Harrier down below 4k health.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised by Harrier's guess because we did have some vegetation, and usually in Copiapio it's just like soil and nothing else. Usually don't have anything else. As we go into Switzerland will not be very interesting. But Harrier opts out to go very, very far west. Maybe he knows how the French architecture looks like in the west.
Could be.
You have some slight hills, which you do get in the west. And well, Zigzag also eyeing out the western parts.
Yes, does come through. Very far side of Switzerland, down towards Geneva. Border. Very beautiful area, by the way. But Zigzag looking to go further towards the north. Yes, comes through in between the two once more, but this time around, Harrier is going to be the closer of the two. Not too much damage. Again, of course, when you're in Switzerland and it's early on in round 4, it's really limited how how much damage you can take in the end. But no flawless for the Zigzag at least.
No flawless, and finally some damage on the board. As we go into, I think, the western Alberta round, we do have, I don't know, just this typical plains landscapes, but this time with hills, which you usually only get in Alberta. As we see in Loch and Drumheller, which I quite like, there are a few hills there. Could be a bit further west even. We shall see. But both in Alberta is kind of what I expected to see.
In Alberta and in and around the same area as well, but once again, Harrier looking to the sky going, oh, come on, man. I only get so many chances at getting Zigzag this far off target. I should be closer. Both of them, you can see confused Zigzag with the emotes there. Trying to communicate among one another while getting this game going as we go tropical
this is
once again.
Fancy new coverage. This is like the southern part of the west coast.
Okay.
More south than Harrier is currently. But
should we have a new coverage alert that pops up on screen?
yeah, I really like Zigzag's guess right now. He might be on the right stretch there. I quite like it. Harrier a bit too far north to be this coverage, so...
And he's moving even further up that way. Now looking to go back again. A big jump towards the south. Is he going to continue moving? Or is he staying in place? Seems like he is going to commit to this location. And he's going to be off by a bit once more. Zigzag, though, contrary, 16 kilometers off. More big damage coming through towards Harrier.
Yeah, very nice guess there by Zigzag. Maybe has learned something when I coached him in New Zealand. Definitely a country that is worth learning because not that many have learned it yet. And it's not that easy. You have to put some time into it. But as you just saw, it pays off.
And it's big enough for a country that some pretty drastic damage can come through. Quick Albania guess comes through from Zigzag. Doesn't want to make too much more of this round. Down towards the water he goes. As Harrier still looking for trees, looking for clues. Could potentially tell him the exact whereabouts. He's going into Greece.
He's going to Greece. He didn't even consider Albania because he didn't see any rifts.
Oh, this is going to be a big one. We'll see. It's going to be enough. Just exactly enough for Zigzag to make the swing happen. And this is kind of, this feels good to me, because one of the first things Zigzag ever taught me was Albania has sky rifts. So there you go.
Well, the problem was we didn't have any rifts in that location.
There weren't any rifts there, exactly.
Yeah.
Just seeing Zigzag win in Albania, it feels good as we now go into the dreaded NMPC. This is all they get. No zooming, no panning, and no moving around. It's just this image.
And what an image it is. Looks very dead. And honestly, I don't have a good vibe here as to what it is.
What is your vibe, though? Give me a country.
I don't know, my instant
you
vibe
can be
was
wrong.
just...
You're allowed to be wrong.
Okay, my instant vibe was it's like an A because the road is going straight west.
Okay, but that's not a country.
Yeah, that is true. I would maybe go US then, although this looks very European overall. I feel like...
Okay.
I would maybe guess Bulgaria here.
But you know what? The fact that you're jumping between America and Bulgaria has me excited, because as you can see, Zigzag is looking towards the northern states of America. Where's Harrier going? Yet to even open the map. This one. There's so much distance in between the two here. I mean, you lined it up perfectly, Ziggy. One is in Europe, one is in North America, and it's gonna be in North America, the northern part of North Dakota, all the way up on the border. And that is what NMPC can do to you.
Yeah, I feel like the best clue there was that the road was just a very straight line road going straight west. That happens a lot in the Midwestern states. Meanwhile, we get Oregon lines around here, not really something to talk about. Both players will get it, and we see both of them zooming instantly in.
What, when you say Oregon line, now that we have the second to say it, what? Yeah. Just explain it real quickly.
They're just a bit wider apart, and there are some white lines in southern states like Alabama, but obviously that looked Pacific Northwest, and then it's just easy.
Yeah.
know?
When the yellow lines are further between, and you're on the west coast, just go Oregon. Feels good, man. As we now go into yet another. I mean, we don't like cities, we don't like houses.
I think it's another US, and this time we are in the southern states. So I really like Mississippi, Alabama here.
Insta-lock for Zigzag. I mean, he has the health to work with. Still
US in a row.
That's round 3.
It's insane. Whoa!
Oh, big round again!
No.
Harris?
I think this is US.
What?
Right?
What?
Yes. Whoa.
Harrier, what did you see, my man?
He was like, surely it can't be US 3 times in a row. Come on, guys. Surely that can't be.
Is that the thing? Is that what we're playing at now? It's the roulette. Like, guys, it's gone on red 6 times. It has to be black this time. But no, those odds, they reset with every single round we go through. Harrier was looking good and moving. Kept up the pace, took down Zigzag. But Zigzag swings around, turns the tide, and gets himself a 2-1 victory. And a hard-fought one at that, because Harrier was looking incredibly strong to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, he really fought an uphill battle there. He knew he didn't have good chances against Harrier and moving. He was like, okay, I might lose that game, but he really brushed it off. And then after that, he lost like 250 points and no move.
Yeah.
And flawless game in NMPC, really showing off his like vibe guessing skills. I mean, he did
I
not
wanna
miss the
hear from
continent,
him.
so...
He went downtown Paris on such a rural guess. Of course, it could be a park in the suburbs. But and I'm not gonna try and guess shame him or anything, because obviously you guys are the pros. I mean, he's one of the best players in the world, so I'm not in a position at all to criticize him. From an outside perspective, I mean, I would love to hear from him what went behind that guess. Obviously, we'll get a chance to do interviews in the end. It's not gonna be with Harrier, can say that already. But I'm gonna have to DM him after today and hear, bro.
I can tell you exactly what happened. I mean,
guess?
France gets these pine forests sometimes, and he saw it was a bit reddish roads, and he thought it was maybe the Dijon roads, maybe. But that's just my guess. Not really sure what happened there. As we go into the awaited game in the chat, I did see a lot of people asking, when is Lennli playing? He is playing now against Leero. Not an easy opponent. We see 58 versus 59%, so we are in for a game.
Any Lennli fans in the chat? Question mark. Get the hype going for your main man. He's going to take on Leero here, and it's going to be a tough battle, an important one at that, because look at how close they're sat on the leaderboards. Both of these guys would really appreciate 3 points in the back, a swift 2-0. I had a chance to talk to Lennli after last week's games. He talked about how he rarely ever gets any 2-0s. He always wins the 2-1s. But the moving games have been a frustration on his part, so we'll see here if maybe that can change with this matchup against Leero.
Yeah, I feel like Leero is one of the opponents where he might have a bit of a better chance in the moving game. But after that, or even in the moving game, anything can happen really. But after that, I think Leero is very, very capable in no move and an NPC. So it's definitely going to be a very hard game for Lennli in general. Yeah, I feel like Leero has way more points per game than Lennli, so...
Both in agreement to go a bit north. Both off by the same margin. 44 damage to kick off this matchup between the two. As we are back and moving, we are here heading in to round number 2. And we go to America again. I feel like every every broadcast day we do, there's like a theme of the day. And so far, the game is really trying to tell us, just stay in America. If you guess America every game, you might be alright.
Yeah, and this time we see an insta-guess by Leero. Didn't really find anything here. We are in the US, though. We did see a speed limit sign. And we have no front plates.
Because in Canada, they can drive as fast as they want. Everywhere.
But what a guess.
Wow, big damage coming through. Lennli off by a bit there. As he went to Oklahoma. Should have been further east. Leero able to find good info early on. Got him exactly to where he wanted to go.
But finally, ooh, that's a very cool sign. We are in Croatia. We did see a sign to Rijeka and Zagreb, which are two very big cities. And Leero just is like, okay, I'm just gonna guess on Zagreb. It's interesting. I feel like we should be in between those two.
Yeah.
So like Karlovac area. Yep. So we are in between those two.
Yeah. Right in between. Both off by the same margin again, but Leero ain't gonna be walking out of this moving game with a flawless scoreline. Lennli makes sure of that. He's down to just over half health already, though. So we'll see if the German player can strike back here, coming into round number 4.
We are in the western parts or southern parts of Finland. There we do have bilingual signs, which only really happens in the coastal areas, west and south. And meanwhile, Leero went pretty far inland.
Yeah?
I feel like it's too far inland to be there. I really like, like that area is very good where Lennli is.
Leero further up towards the north. Didn't spend too much time looking at the signs. Luckily for him, it was a bit further north, but could have been dangerous. Could have been very dangerous. Had Lennli been closer to the target on that one.
Yeah, that could have been way worse for Leero, honestly. If Lennli is on top of that, I feel like it would be like 2k damage. As we see a town name on these signs, Fresket. Never heard of it, but maybe if you combine it with plates, you maybe know the state to look in.
I thought it was a P. I thought it was a Prescott. Not that that changes me knowing where it is,
okay.
but but we'll see now. Churchill Manor. Lennli instantly zooms in because he was there last week. I don't think that's the case, but he's going to go up towards Ottawa.
Yeah, maybe he knows the area code, and there seems like there is a phone code. As we drive by a Burger King. On Leero's
As
screen.
you would in the US.
I mean, Lennli is in Canada, so...
On to Canada, yep. Toronto now.
We have a Canada flag on Leero's screen, so...
That does help. Does help in country identification. They're gonna let the time run out on this one. Bit of distance in between the two, but not too much. And it is gonna be almost right on the border. Leero, though, on point. Taking a half of what Lennli had remaining in health away from him, now sat at just under 1800.
Yeah, Lennli cannot afford another mistake like that. Because then it's just over. As we go into a Philippines round with a very open field here. Something you see a lot, but whoa. That's a very, very committed guess.
Wonder what had him going there. Is there anything to you that sends it that far north?
Ooh, I mean, maybe just the openness.
Yeah.
But that is a very, very committed
Lennli is
guess.
further south. This could potentially be game unless if it's right in between him and Leero knew. You can see even Lennli goes, you know what? Respect, my man. That was that was pretty incredible guess. So that's going to be Leero out victorious in moving, and Lennli will once again not get himself a 2-0. But he is a very comfortable no-move and NPC player, so we'll see if he can turn this one around, just like Zigzag did in the previous game.
Yeah, Leero is really showing off why he is getting further towards the top. As the league progresses, he started off pretty far down, and now he's entering the top 10 with this game, pretty much.
Tasmania instantly locked in from Leero. Lennli is there to follow. Just gonna plunk it in, get the hedge going, and minimal damage come through.
Yep, pretty easy start here.
Into round 2 we go. And out into the open again. I feel like our no-move and NPC rounds have exclusively been like out in the open. We've barely been in any cities when these guys have been stuck in place. This round is no different.
Yeah, no different. Meanwhile, we are in Mexico here. As to where exactly, that's for them to figure out.
What tells you Mexico in this round? What's the...
single yellow line, the car, the plates. We have short
Toby.
white plates. We have a blue stripe car. Bad road. The fences on the side of the road are very Mexican. I really like the eastern guess, Veracruz.
Yeah?
We have some mountains west, which fits for that. But as to where exactly, maybe they know.
I mean, you hope so. You definitely hope so. Lennli is still a bit further up towards the north. Leero hovering around Tabasco. He's going to lock in down there. And if you followed the old saying, when in doubt, go Mexico City, you could have come out victorious. Good thing for Lennli is, though, he's going to be closer in this one. So big damage come through. As Leero now goes into the next round, set just about 45.
Yeah, honestly, that round was kind of impossible to get. I mean, there is a saying to just go CDMX on occasions like that, but it did not like anything there. So
yeah,
no blame on them. We do stay in the same like hemisphere at least. We are in Argentina. Very open yet again.
Yeah, they're not getting a whole lot to work with, but sometimes a little can be worth so much more. Some of these very, very good GeoGuessr players. As they're both in and around the same province, but where Lennli is to the north, Leero is down towards the south.
That's kind of the area where you get these very big open fields. They are both in the correct province here in Buenos Aires. Another good chunk of damage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the big countries that we're getting now that's helping out Lennli. Leero might be right in the state, might be right in the province, but big hits nonetheless when they're sat on each side.
Oh, you jinxed it. You jinxed it with the big countries. Now we're in Qatar.
Qatar, yeah.
No big country. Just gonna be a click in the middle.
Plonk, skip. Still, a little bit of damage. No flawless for Lennli. I'm not sure exactly what they would have had to line anything up with there to try and get more qualified guesses in.
I think the road was too small to line up.
Exactly. They were in a back street somewhere. It's limited what they could do with it, but at least both of them correct in country.
And why are we back?
Round 5. Once again.
Once again.
It's the theme of the day.
Again.
Got the mountain range there in the distance. You have something to line up with if you can lock down. Oh, you have a very distant highway sign on Lennli's screen, but there's no way you read that. Leero, hovering Oregon, but not fully committed to it yet. What are you thinking, Ziggy?
Yeah, I kind of like the northern area, like Washington, Oregon, Idaho. Because we do have these tall, like, poplar-ish trees. I have no clue what they're called, actually.
Let's call them trees for now.
Yeah, trees for now. These big trees and these slightly sandy hills. I feel like you also get in that area.
Lennli.
So I would send Oregon or Idaho. But
yeah, I was going to say Lennli's moving down towards Idaho. He's kind of sat right on the border between all the 4 states up there, right in the intersection. Should have stayed up in Washington. Ooh. Oh, you can see it on his face as well. He was right there. Opted or ended up second guessing himself, sent it further south just to be safe, but had he committed to his gut feeling, then that would have been a lot of damage done towards Leero.
The worst and best feeling as a GeoGuessr player is switching last second, depending on the outcome.
Exactly. And so many times you see it go against you, but yet another beautiful location. Mountain ranges all over.
Yeah, we have some outside lines here dotted, which should put us in France here. And I really like the southeastern parts with these like white rockish hills. Should be somewhere around Marseille.
Down towards the Mediterranean. Still hovering alongside the Rhône River. Further towards the north, at least that's what Leero is doing. It is actually all the way down towards Toulon. Okay. That's a nice area. I was on vacation there a few years ago. Very beautiful. Like, that entire province is just... If you get 2 weeks and you can rent a car, just drive around. It's very beautiful. Very nice place.
Going to a highway this time. It's like the typical highway you would get in Serbia here. I think we also have some bollards to confirm it. Now it is who can line up the highway.
Well, Lennli ain't gonna take too much time, but Leero saying, you know what, you're gonna give him 15, I'll try. Issue is there's a lot of them in between one another there, as it is gonna be quite a bit further towards the south. But once again, Lennli out victorious as we go into round number 8. It's getting dicey at this point for Leero. He needs some big hits onto Lennli in order to have a chance to come back before round 10.
And we are back again in Argentina here. Another open field. Or is it Argentina? I think it is. Could be maybe Brazil, but I don't think these polls exist in Brazil, so I'm just gonna stick with Argentina here. But I do like the border area because it does look a bit like Brazil, and both of them will go Corrientes province. And they're on it.
Yes, comes through. Lennli taking damage, but is it gonna be enough? Leero still has 2 rounds to try and swing this one around. Keep in mind that round 10 is the last round. If the game has not come to an end before then it's the player who has the most health left remaining that would be the
stream
victor
died.
of this one.
I don't know if we're live right now, but
I think we are. I think you just F5. I'm gonna F5.
Also just gonna F5.
It's on. Chat, if you're here, F5. If you're not,
it's on like Donkey Kong. So
it's on. It's on. We keep going. We keep going, guys. F5. Chat, the ones of you that are here now, spam F5 in chat so that the people who aren't here right now, they know to do it.
Yep.
Feels bad when you sat there on your mobile phone in the kitchen looking for the F5
It's good we're back because
button.
we're back in the US as well, and Leero is lining up the roads, which is funny in the US because everything is just straight west, so...
Yeah.
But he is very confident there in like, the northernmost part of Montana. Like, that is a very committed guess. He has to be on it.
Otherwise,
he could lose the game.
This could be huge. This could be exactly what Leero is looking for. He needs the turnaround. He needs to get points off of Lennli. And he will get points off of him. That is going to be
the game.
Big damage come through and game on top of it as well. Leero out victorious 2-0.
Very impressive. Both games ending on a very specific region guess by Leero there. Just knowing something in the Philippines, knowing Montana. I mean, pretty hard to deal with, especially on these high multipliers. I mean, that one happened on 5x, and just a small mistake, like being one state over in Wyoming.
And Lennli had been playing a really solid game up until that point. And again, I mean, the multipliers combined with, as you were saying, Leero just not for a second doubting his direction in that guess was effectively exactly what he was hoping for. He was down over 3,000 health. He needed a big swing in his direction. Don't think he was expecting to get the game in that round, but still needed something good going his way, and it couldn't be any better for him.
Yeah. A lot of big countries in that game, so a lot of opportunities for both parties to win that. As we see, another game.
We're
because
speedrunning
it hasn't
this.
ended yet, so we do have the world champ, or last world champion, Consus versus Karania.
Yeah.
Already up 1-0 and up in this game by 3,000 points.
I love the idea that we're coming in here just to see one round, and then this game is over as well. We'll see if Karania can turn it around. In round number 7, he's down to under 1,400 health as he jumps towards Yucatan.
I think we're gonna see more than one round. I feel like both of them will guess very, very closely to each other.
They will, but still, it's Consus on point, and this is effectively a repeat of what we just saw between Lennli and Leero. Now it's just Karania that needs the exact same thing happening. Round number 8, he needs a big swing in his favor, but how do you get that against Consus?
Not something that I see Consus do a lot is mistakes, and that's what Karania needs. He needs a mistake by Consus to even have the opportunity to take this game. But a very interesting guess here. Going pretty far south in Chile. But Consus also getting the Chile vibe here. And I kind of like Consus guess more here, but we shall see. Oh, is Karania.
Let's see now. One big hit, but he needs more. Karania, good with the quick guess there. As we go into another round, I was gonna think France, and seems like Consus is there with me.
I feel like France with these houses is very guaranteed here. We do have some type of mountain ridge there to our east. Maybe something to consider. Shouldn't be too far west in that case.
Yeah. Well, so, Karania, it's just right down the middle, at least for now. Could still, of course, change things up. Going further towards the north.
Yeah,
I mean, your France knowledge is better than mine, but I feel like all mountains in France are down towards the Alps, no?
Yeah, the mountains are worrying me, but the hedgeroads itself, it's something you would see in the northwest just because they copied the UK, let's be real. They just were like, okay, let's steal the idea to have hedgerows next to our roads.
Yeah. Makes sense. That could bait you up there. Could also be that it's the right location. Let's see. 2 seconds to work with. 5 times multiplier. Can Karania turn it around? He cannot. Consus on point. As he swings this one in.
What a guess. I did not expect anyone to get that close on a round like that.
On a dirt road.
If anyone can do it, it's Consus.
True. So. He's a former world champion for a reason. Is that a smile? A little smirk on the face of Consus?
No smile.
Always very, very neutral facial expressions. But I feel like there's a bit of a smirk there. He knew that was a good guess. He was feeling good about it as well. What a game we got to come in there and see 2 rounds of, but entertaining ones at that, as Consus comes out 2-0. Now, we do have an update to bring to you, an important one at that, as well as we look at the leaderboard. Because, as you can see in the top left, Harrier, Zigzag, you go, wait a minute, that's not what happened. We were all wondering what happened with the Paris guest from Harrier, and we've been updated. Harrier had a black screen in that round, so they had to replay the round, which means, and now we didn't see the end of it, but which means that Harrier, despite losing during the broadcast, actually came in and won against Zigzag. Of course, unfortunate that these tech issues happen, but they had to replay that last round, and in the end, Harrier came out victorious. So just so you're updated on what happened there. As we now get ready for the next seed of games, it's going to be Finbarr versus Leero. We get to see Harrier again take on Karania. But before that, we're going to hop to a quick break. So stick around, guys. Get yourself some water, get a drink. And next up, it's going to be Finbarr versus Leero.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup. Denmark. Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings. World-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably. I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.
Welcome back, everyone, to the GeoGuessr World League. I'm Toby, joined by Siggy. And Siggy, we have got Finbarr and Leero coming our way. Two players we both know very well. We just got to see Leero take on Lennli. Coming up. Wait, no, it's Karania, isn't it? Oh my god, now my brain is
No, he just played Lennli. That's correct.
Yes, my brain
just
was malfunctioning.
Just pulled a 2-0 victory against Lennli in a pretty nice fashion, I have to say.
Yeah, no, but I mean... Yeah, my brain is officially gone. I had too much coffee for breakfast, and therefore, now I'm just gonna let Siggy yap for a second as we get this next game ready.
Yeah, I might as well yap about the players we just saw Leero play. Made it look pretty easy against Lennli, but now he's playing against another monster.
There you go. I normally have screenshotted my my schedule, but I didn't there, so I was confused whether it was gonna be Karania or Leero playing now. But by all means, continue.
Yeah, she'll continue. We do say 61% win rate on Finbarr's side, so even a bit higher than both Leero and Lennli. And I don't think it's going to be as easy for Leero to take this game as it was against Lennli, because Finbarr is a pretty able moving player, I shall say, and he's going to put up a fight.
I mean, not to take anything away from Lennli, because he sure did put up a fight too, outside of those two guesses that got Leero the upper hand, where, I mean, in his defense, he had some very, very convincing guesses himself. So now, let's see how this game is gonna go. We haven't really had any rush rounds yet, outside of one or two. And we know that that's one of Finbarr's many strong suits, as he sits comfortably right now on 8th. I say comfortably, Zigzag 1 point behind him. And he's tied with Harrier at 58. So, big points for these two needed to come out of this game.
And we do start in North America again.
Again.
Yet again. Instantly with a phone code. As we see an ON, and it says like a town name, Saint something. But an insta-guess by Leero.
That is a big cup of coffee, if that's what he's drinking.
I think it's just a flask of water.
Between every guess. Yeah, that's a lot of liquid being consumed by Leero. As
I have to say, I really like his sweater. That looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, I can't tell exactly what it is. I was thinking it might be Dragon Ball. I forgot what the name of the bald guy in Dragon Ball is, but it could kind of have the vibe, but I'm not sure. We'll have to keep an eye on the webcam, see if he shows us exactly what's on there. So get into game number 2 back in Europe once more.
And he finds very good signs here. Numbered road signs in Poland are structured, but the question is, does Leero know?
Well, it looks between Warsaw and Lutz, at least early on. Finbarr is further down towards the south, not working with any street sign. Oh, wait, no, I take that back. He just found the same one.
No, it was not the same one. He just had a town name, and he was looking for the pattern, maybe like finding similar placements, but now he has it.
Yeah.
But now he has only a few seconds to find this.
Yeah, it's not easy, but at least, I mean, for both of them, they're in and around the same area. So regardless who's going to be on top, up here towards the north end of Poland, it's going to be small points either way. As Leero will be closer. 92 damage done. Finbarr trying to reset mentally after that big hit of 92 damage coming into round 3.
Yeah, not sure if he can recover from this, but maybe he can recover on his favorite country, which is Russia.
Yeah.
But he decides to move. I was low-key expecting an insta-guess here by Finbarr. Meanwhile, Leero is the one who is putting up the pressure. Very committed as well, is in the northwestern part of Russia there. Will Finbarr follow suit? It looks like he does.
Yeah, seems like he's going to be up there as well. A bit further towards the east is where they would have wanted to go, but nonetheless, good guess on both their parts. As we take it into round number 4. I'm just guessing now we're going back to the US again, because it's been 2 rounds since we've been there, so...
True, might as well. This does not look like it.
Don't guess US, guys.
We do have a phone code 072, so if somebody has learned them, you could use them here, but instead they are looking at the polls, they look at the transformers. Everything they can use. It shouldn't be Osaka itself, but it should be around it. I think Osaka is 06. I might be wrong. I shall see.
Could be. Ooh, an Okinawa
It should
guess
be Okinawa.
last
No,
second
no.
from Leero.
07 is not Okinawa.
Ooh.
That's gonna be game, I think.
Pain and game. As Leero, was it the palms alone that had him go Okinawa?
Yeah, I think so. He just saw one singular palm, but nothing else really matched. Usually in Okinawa, you have the longer style plates. But yeah, I think the phone code there was very helpful for Finbarr as well.
Hurts.
That is
Hurts. I'm sure the
way to go out.
Okinawa representatives in the chat appreciate a guess coming their way, but that one was almost 1,200 kilometers off. So, feels bad, man, Leero. Got a mental reset. Now coming into no move.
Now, even more text, but this time it's in Thai, so I don't expect anyone to really read this. The phone numbers are both mobile numbers, so not helpful. 06, 08, and 09 are all mobile, so nothing gonna be helpful there.
Don't mind me, I'm just casually fixing my mic arm as it was about to fly off. Here in round 1, they're taking the time once again. It's a different pace than what we've been seeing earlier today. As Finbarr has found himself 2 golf clubs, so we'll see if he's gone up to join one of them. At least in this guess here, taking their time with this one.
He's cooking up something. I quite like the region he's in, more towards the north.
Leero hopping up, joining him. Was further down towards Bangkok proper. Bit too far north on that one. Finbarr, shake the head.
I mean, that's honestly a very hard location to get.
Yeah.
Don't think anyone really gets that unless they can read it. But are we in tracker coverage? This does not look like car coverage at all.
I was gonna say, it's if it's car coverage, it's a very off-road Google car that decided to drive down this road.
Yeah, I don't think this is a car.
Is there? I mean, how much tracker coverage do we have in this map?
I feel like there's a standard of like maybe 1 or 2%. Shouldn't be much more. Like 1% is good, but only if it's necessary. Honestly, I have no clue where this is.
I love it. Chat, get in on your guesses. You like to just sit here and be entertained by letting the pros guess. If it is actually tracker coverage, if it is actually a rare one, let's all play it together. Leero goes Kenya. Finbarr is in South Africa.
They are all over the place here. I also have no clue where this is.
I'm gonna go Argentina, because I have no clue. I just want to guess as well. Oh! What?
Finbarr was eyeing Argentina there for a second, and then decided to just stay in South Africa. But yeah, what was that location? That was definitely tracker.
How? How? I'm so confused. I should just sign up for the World League next year, I guess.
Wait, facts.
What the hell just happened? I'm not even sure anymore.
I mean, you peaked. You should never call anything else again.
I'm never gonna get a better guess than that. Doesn't matter that I can 5k Denmark. Just give me those Argentina tracker rounds and I'm gonna be good. As we do go back to the US once again, I'm just gonna mentally reset here myself for a second because I'm smiling all over my face. That's what GeoGuessr does. You know, honestly, I think that's what gets a lot of people into GeoGuessr initially, is getting that one round that is just a way too good guess to be true. And you're like,
one round high.
I'm like, wow, now I'm hooked. Now I'm hooked. That feeling, feels so good. As these guys get their guesses in, both ones stayed off. This is Utah. That's where they would have wanted to be.
Yep. Nothing big. I mean, both of them technically had the chance to win the game in the last round, but I'm not sure how gettable Argentina is. I mean, for a pro like you, might be easy, but for these players, it's a bit harder. As we go into a pretty easy Mato Grosso in Brazil, I feel like with these poles, and we also the antenna should be somewhere around there. Also just very flat open fields. Something we get there a lot.
Let's see.
And that's where both are.
Yeah. Mato Grosso.
See?
Out into the wilderness. They both head. Oh, not really wilderness. There's a road there. Seems like it does get flooded every now and again, but we'll see if they're going to be on point. Both off to the west by... I mean, kilometer-wise, quite the margin, but in terms of the region they're in and the space in between roads and whatnot, it really was just a couple of roads over.
I mean, Mato Grosso is deceptively small. It's pretty big. It's like 500 kilometers west to east and north to south, so it's quite large.
Let's see.
Massive, one would say, even.
Massive. So we go into round number 5. Practically even scoreline here between the two, just 100 points separating them. As Leero heads to Malaysia initially. At least it looks like that to me.
Yeah, the funny thing is we do have a black sticker, which you usually
no, wait, he's
see.
in Indonesia, never mind.
But this is Indonesia with the pole tops. You don't get these in Malaysia. Although the black sticker is a bit misleading here. Now the question is, who knows their pole tops better? But we also have oil palms, which is most common on Sumatra, especially in the Riau. So I think Leero goes for the safe guess here.
Seems like it. Finbarr yet to even open the map will get in on this one as well. Further down towards the south, down towards the western shorelines. We'll see if it's going to be on point. Once again, a tricky round to exactly pinpoint, and with the multiplier stacking, it's starting to hurt a little bit more. It's Finbarr off by 350 kilometers.
Yeah, Finbarr getting the correct coastal vibe there, but does not get rewarded for it. As we spawn in Indonesia again, I imagine.
Yep.
This time, we do have palm trees instead of oil palms.
Finbarr instantly commits down towards Java. What is he seeing here? What are they both now seeing here that has them come in here?
I think just a mix of like these rubber trees and also the palms. I feel like you get that a lot in East Java. They might see a roof somewhere. But I would just say overall this looks more like Java in general. And East Java is the only thing that would make a lot of sense. So I think they kind of just have the same thought process here.
Yep. Makes sense. Practically set on top of one another. Could be a 10k, a wild, rural 10k in the making. Hashtag doubt. But we'll see if that's going to come through or not. Leero currently has the lead. They're going to be sat practically equal distance once again. Actually, no. Make that 50 kilometers off. And Finbarr once more. As Leero is starting to claw back into this one. He's down 1-0 already. So he'd really want to make a swift end of Finbarr and just get into an NPC right away.
And we are in North America again. To be more precise, we are in Canada, because we do have the Gen 2 camera. Very rare in US these days, so should just be in Canada somewhere. And both of them opting for Ontario here, which is kind of the default guess with landscape like this. Not much to work with. Just looks very generic.
Finbarr locked in.
On Manitoulin Island. Very interesting. Maybe he knows something.
I mean, you'd hope so. Seems like a committed guess, as he is going to be just one set of water off. But it's going to hurt, and keeps him in. But now we're in a territory with the multipliers as well, where Finbarr could lose, being just off by a couple of kilometers. And this round tells me that it ain't going to be the small kilometers that's going to make the difference here.
And we just go back to back to back.
Two back.
Yes.
To the States.
Back in the US with red soil this time. So something towards like Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma is likely. Especially with these fields. I feel like Mississippi, like river area makes a lot of sense. And that's where both of them are. They're just near the river.
Exactly. Leero there as well. He needs minimal damage to get it, and he is going to do exactly that. Why not just do an overkill of 2,500 when your opponent has 100 health left to work with? We are going to go into an NPC. We know you viewers like to see it. We'll see what these guys can make of it as we go into game 3.
Yeah, if you ignore the Argentina round, I feel like pretty clinical.
What, you don't ignore the Argentina round. We just guessed the hell out of that one.
Guys,
that was the best round of the game. Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, people missing stuff is pretty good, because it means they can miss.
There's always things to improve on. That's the good and the bad thing about being a high-level GeoGuessr player. You're so incredibly good already, but there's always niche things here and there you can look into. I'm just curious, like 10 years from now, when GeoGuessr is the biggest esport in the world and the entire globe plays it, what are the metas that the top level players are looking into. Because at that point, I feel like you have to be a cyborg in order to play at a competitive level. I feel like some of these players are already kind of cyborg, but what are we at then? I'm not even sure. The font in the smallest ads, I'm not sure. Argentina on the cards this time around. They're both gonna be there. Big damage for round 1 at least. Coming through as Leero. It's taken down at just over 5,100.
Yeah, I can't wait for people to cheat with Neuralink in 2026. Gonna be interesting to see Elon Musk compete next year. As we see a European round for a change.
Yeah?
And a very quick send in Latvia.
Latvia for Leero. What's the Latvia tell on this one?
I mean, just the vibes. Maybe he's even hedging Lithuania and Estonia. Who really knows? But I think the road looks very Baltic.
Latvia vibes. They're both gonna be there. They're both gonna be, I mean, equally far off. Because why not just throw it into the capital? If you have a chance to. 8 damage done. So Finbarr, as a little bit of a swing comes back the other way. Now into round number 3.
And we do see driving left here. But the pavement is really misleading here because it does make you think of Thailand, but we should be in Indonesia with these palms. And the houses as well. Not an easy round though.
Definitely not.
We have these Sumatra-like palms with corn. You can sometimes get them in Sulawesi, but I feel like this looks more like Sumatra, so I quite like Leero's guess here, but let's see if Finbarr can follow suit.
Leero further down towards the coast, and once again, I mean, sat right next to one another. It's an NPC, but they're making it look easy. Sitting side by side in their guesses. What do you think is Finbarr is right now? Are we rocking? Is it Taylor Swift again? Are we back on that train? Or what are we doing today?
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's Gracie Abrams.
Could be.
Abrams.
Could be.
Maybe.
Good vibes nonetheless.
But it's definitely gonna be a female artist, that's for sure. Because
okay,
like
fair enough.
That's the only thing he listens to, really. So that's not gonna be my prediction.
That's cool. That is cool. As we go into round number 4, up in the mountains we head, and well, for now, Finbarr is hovering. I can't tell if it's actually Hungary that he's hovering.
I think he's in Italy right now.
Further towards the west, yeah, exactly. Our zoom in.
My initial vibe was Italy as well, but now I'm thinking about stuff like Romania.
I think Leero guessed just on the border of Slovenia, Croatia. They're both going to be down there, and it's all the way up in Western Austria. Okay. Oh, I feel like it's rare that you're off in Europe to that extent, but of course, minimal info to work with. Your average mountain road. So region made sense.
Yeah, definitely not an easy round there, especially because in that western pocket of Austria, you get smaller mountains as to where like the rest of it is pretty mountainous. You wouldn't get small hills like that. As we go into Peru, it seems like, with this kind of road and how it looks, I feel like both of them should end up in Peru, although Finbarr is taking his time.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Leero pretty much lining up the road right now as we speak.
I was gonna say, it's very specific. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, this is like east of Andes, obviously, because it's very green. The rest is just very dry. So there's not that many roads to consider, but it's still a pretty good amount. So
you can see Finbarr is joining him now. Just brain buffering there for a second. As they're now joined on the same road, 5N, but in each their end of it. Leero is looking further south right now to see if there are other areas that would make more sense to his guess. Let's see if they're both going to be on or both going to be off. And this is exactly where Leero was looking. Could have been huge. But we continue the tale of these two players playing hand in hand. And thus, no one gets the right target.
Nope, both of them going for the wrong guess there, although that's kind of the two areas you consider.
Exactly.
So, no fault there. But it's always nice to see that if players are wrong, they're usually wrong together, because you know, in a sense, they think the same way. But if you want to be at the top, you can't be a sheep.
That is true.
So we go into India here. We do have a tiled roof, which is more like a thing you get more towards the north. It depends if it's disorganized, which is usually north. If it's organized, it could be more south. Yes, people have looked at roofs in India a lot.
Which makes sense. It's the niche knowledge. And that's
I mean,
why
it's
I'm
a
saying
very big country.
Yeah. 1-1, round 6 with 3.5
difference
times
this time.
multiplier. Could be a game-winning moment had it not been because they are practically the exact same distance away from the target. A tricky round, and
That could
having
have been
gone hand in
6k
hand.
points, and it ended up being 60. So
Exactly. Having gone hand in hand for so long, now they decided to sit on each
And
side
we are
instead.
back in the US. This looks like Colorado or something. Maybe even Washington, but... Ooh, I kind of like Colorado more right now.
Yeah?
Maybe... It's a Washington, Colorado 50-50 for me. I don't know why.
That's interesting.
The field is... I really like Leero's guess, though, because Colorado was my instant thought, and now he's also eyeing Washington, which I also
Big
like.
distance in between the two. We'll see which is gonna be. Finbarr yet to put his pin down on either of them. Do you hedge? Do you go in the middle? Now you can see Leero was looking to go further southeast, but now he is up in Washington proper. Finbarr still not locked in, thinking, looking. This is all you get. A field.
Is
half
Leero gonna
fence.
switch or stay in Colorado? Oh, he's gonna switch. So both of
They're
them
both
are
going
in
up there.
Washington.
Because they have to hold hands, you know. They have to hold hands, and good thing they did. Because had they been further towards the southeast, that could have been dangerous. I think even if Finbarr takes some damage there, that's still a good guess on both their parts. So you'll take that any day of the week as we make our way. And this is the insane thing. We are in round 8, and they're both sat above 4,500.
And
This has been
pretty much-
incredible playing by the two of them.
Yeah, and a pretty much skip round here. Both of them will know it's Uruguay. Pretty easy Uruguay with these 3 rows here. No biggie again. So we might enter 5x multiplier with a very marginal difference here. Again, like
2 kilometers off.
36 points here.
Wow.
I think this game will be decided in the last 2 rounds here. So
It has to
let's
be.
hope we get some big countries.
It has to be. Just give us back-to-back Denmark. I'm down.
Oh
Gonna
my
be the
god.
case, though,
We're
because
back.
why not
Okay,
give us
but
yet another
we
one?
do have these like concrete slab pavement, which is usually a thing in Iowa. And
Okay. I mean, Finbarr's in Illinois. You're in
Illinois is
Kentucky.
also something, but I would send Iowa on this. I would
Fair
just
enough.
trust it blindly.
Ooh, okay. Well, we'll see if they end up agreeing or not. Obviously, no blind trusting, as we are hitting the 30-second mark here. There's a lot on the line between these two.
Ooh.
And for Finbarr right now, you
Ooh.
want to maintain this lead.
He is
You
going
wanna
towards
stay
Iowa,
ahead.
though. He's on the
But
border.
the thing is, if he is up towards Iowa and Leero is in Kentucky, then it's going to be in the middle of Illinois, and they're going to be equally far apart.
No.
We already know that's what it's going to be. That's the script. They have to take minimal damage every single round. But at least for now, 3 states apart, this could be game with 5 times multiplier.
The meta-gaming move would be just slamming it in Iowa. But I guess it's
See.
a bit too risky.
Oh! For a second, he flogged him.
Oh my god.
25 kilometers between their guesses.
And
It's written in the stars. It's written in the stars that they have to be identical in their distance. They were both off, and now they're laughing together as well. But here we have it. Round number 10. It won't go further than this. This is the final one. And Leero needs to do at least 700 damage to come out victorious.
yeah, this seems like it's Portugal here. So, I mean, Leero has to just make a very committed guess and be closer. I mean, he technically just has to be like 100 points closer with the multis.
The thing is, how do you win a round? How do you get 700 points off of a player who is, like, magnetized to your hip? How do you get out of this, Leero? How do you push Finbarr away and say, no, I don't want to stay next to you all the time, bro?
I mean, right now it seems like they're too close together to make a difference. But Leero doesn't know
Surprised.
that, so...
That's true.
Doesn't know where Finbarr is guessing, otherwise it would be easier.
700 damage needed. Small distance in between them, but it could be enough depending on where we are. And
Nope.
oh my, 15 kilometers apart. It's not going to happen. He is going to take the win. It's going to be Finbarr out victorious 2-1.
To the very last round, it was like anyone could really win. The US round again, both of them making a pretty, you know, suboptimal guess there. And
Yeah.
it just stays on the line.
Attached at the hip, both playing an incredible game all the way down to the finish line. Round 10, it's gonna be where it's decided. Wow. That's that was interesting one, no doubt.
Yep. Was very interesting. I mean, both of them basically attracting each other. Their guesses. They're
Yeah,
just on top of each other every single time. And even then, if they had different guesses, it was always in the middle, as you said. It was just like, okay, it appeared in the middle, or they was just triangulating, basically, like a free-side triangle that had the same sides.
They were moths around the same light every single round. As we now move on, we go in and take a look at Harrier once again, who, after the reset in the previous game between Zigzag, did end up coming up victorious. Now, up against Karania, you can see the game is already on. We are into round number 4. And we are over towards the far east. Harrier committing all the way towards the border of North Korea.
Yeah, we do have the white car, and this coverage is pretty easy for these players, so I think both of them will end up in Vladivostok. Though it could be a bit further north, like Khabarov. Or even further south.
Yeah, a bit of a hitch from Karania. Just jumps into the water. Don't want to be too far off on that one, as damage does come through. Harrier taken down to their set at practically even. Now getting into round number 5.
And we do continue in the Baltics again, either Estonia or Lithuania here, and there is a Lithuania flag. Would you look at that?
Helps.
That definitely helps.
Is it bait?
No. And it says Kasinai. Could be the region.
We'll have to
That's
see.
Nice.
There's a city up ahead. You'd have to imagine there's going to be some info available up there if you can read the local language, that is, of course.
True.
Wait, was there a marker on the country map on that flag on the bottom right, or is that just a like speech bubble? I'm not quite sure.
Did not look like it.
Because if you
it
have
would be
the
a pretty
entire
weird
map
sign.
with a big cross in the corner, that's like, oh, thank you, map. That's appreciated. But Harrier is hovering west side of Vilnius.
Oh,
Karania
has found it, I think.
He did! You see, Harrier surprised by that one there. Solid guess on the side of Karania. His 1400 damage does come through. Able to now separate himself coming into round number 6.
And also, it has to be said, very important games here for Karania, because we just saw him being just 7th place and only 6 qualify in the APAC region. So any win is really vital for him. And I think he already lost the first game of today against Consus. So he's not off to a great start. He really needs a 2-0 here to keep his chances up of qualifying.
True. Harrier going all the way up to the very western border of Yukon. We'll see if he's going to reconsider. What are you thinking about that? Yes.
Yeah, I think it's good. There are kind of like only 2 roads that come to mind, and one of them is definitely the road that is going to Dawson Creek. It shouldn't be the one he's on right now. I like the guess he had before more.
Well, Ronnie is up there with him. Going to Chicken.
He's on the Alaska side, so we have 2 different countries here, but I think the round could just be in the middle.
Yeah, very well could be. We'll see who's going to get it. This time does run out, and it is on the exact border, but Harrier quite a bit further towards the north. It's going to hurt once more, as he's now sat down to 1600 health. Got to reset mentally, got to log in. You can see him as well, a very emotional player, as he gets ready for round 7.
Yeah, I mean, you could see that his first guess was better. And we are not leaving this continent, it seems. We're back in North America yet again.
Not sure what our rounds have been in North America today.
Algorithm today is mocking it.
Also, all the Americans are still sleeping. Game.
True.
They're not here to appreciate the fact that they're being giving all these rounds. Wait until the later slot. Then you can give them all the NA rounds.
Well, that's good though, because then they don't type in chat, this is easy. New Mexico, I live here, so...
True, I suppose. Hard to guess in for the viewers out there. Hard to guess in for the players as well, as they will both look towards North America, of course. Karania in Missouri. Not sure if we found some text on that trailer there to send him to this exact area. Harrier still yet to even open the map.
Yeah, meanwhile, Karania just scanning yet again. Maybe he's found a place name, or what he thought was a place name. Ooh, big hedge by in the last few seconds there. Big switch towards the east.
Oh, you can see it on his face as well. Frustration, as that's going to be game. Opted to swing it wide east towards Cincinnati in the very last second, and it comes to cost him.
And Karania making his first step towards those important and vital 3 points.
Yes.
He really needs them. Because I think if he only goes out here with 1 point, it's basically game over with qualifying for APAC. He needs it. And we spawn into a very cool New Zealand. We are on the West Coast yet again with these signs. And it says Hokitika, George. Hokitika is a very big town on the West Coast. You see it there, south of Greymouth. And the Hokitika, George, is south of it.
Helpful.
It even says Glacier, and maybe if people know that there's only like 2 glaciers, Fox Glacier and Franz Josef Glacier, maybe they can find it.
The question is, do they know where it is? Right now, it doesn't seem that way. Karania looking lake to lake.
Karania pretty close though.
Yeah.
Well, Harrier very far away. It has to be. He's not in the right area of the country at all.
Good thing for him, it's round 1. So even if he is going to be off by quite the margin, damage won't be enough to be fatal. We'll see here, 10 seconds to go. They both want to spend their time here, which makes sense. It's a very beautiful location, so why wouldn't you?
Oh, you found it. You found a POI. Let's go.
There you go.
That might be a 5k.
Let's see. Karania trying to line it up. Does he have it?
No!
Oh, not
So
quite, but
close.
what a guess. Still, though, just 600 damage to send the other way, but incredible search there in the last couple of seconds.
Also just getting the mental edge here, I think, especially after winning the first game. I think Harrier's already on the verge, really.
Feeling good.
Now he just starts this game with a guess like that.
Okay, Mallorca guess, at least hovering for Karania. Harrier
And he locks it in.
joining him.
You do see another island there in the distance, or maybe an outcrop, so good look for that.
Definitely. Harrier up in the mountains on the east side. Karania there alongside him, almost sat on top of one another. We'll see if they're going to be equally close. Almost. Harrier is going to be the one closer. Doing 228 damage to Karania to kick things off, getting us into round number 3.
Nice to see that they both get the right island. Even though we didn't have a lot to work with. It was just enough. And Toby, why are we back?
Back in the USA, we are back in the... Yeah, it's because there is in the contract that we have to go US, or at least North America.
Yeah, because we do have a
all the time.
octagonal pole here.
Mexico.
True.
That's my one meta knowledge to Mexico when we don't get actual street signs saying something about Mexican highways.
We do have like slightly red soil for my guess who was in Durango. Also, some of the trees look more northern. So I kind of like Karania's guess right now, but we see Harrier moving up more and more right now, so...
Big question now is going to be, would you be closer if you were in Mexico City? Because that's where 90% of chat would have gone. Let's see if that's going to be the case or not. No, Harrier on point. Solid guess come through from him. And a big hit here in round number 3. Over 2,000 damage done.
Yeah, definitely getting his confidence back there in this round. Decent guess, one could say.
Oh, pretty decent. Pretty decent. Something tells me we're in Poland now. Thank you, internet domains and text.
The question is, did Harrier learn and remember Polish phone codes? We do have a phone code for 42. So maybe something he could know.
Could be. He's going down towards Krakow. Down towards the south. Hovering back now towards the west.
I think 42 is literally the middle, like, watch.
Okay. Well, that's where Karania is. Kalish.
At least that's where I think it was. And somebody in chat is confirming it is literally the area code of the city of the watch. So you could 5k around by literally clicking the hedging point of the country.
Well, let's see. Harrier still committing to Krakow. So based on chat, based on you, Karania will be the victor of this round. We'll see if that's going to be the case or if it won't be. It is, in fact, going to be just on the southwestern side of Lodz. You can see Karania's facial expression there going, wait a minute. This was supposed to be in Krakow, but not quite the case.
Downtown, the hedging point of the country, and nobody's going there.
Now, though, into round number 5 we are. And this one, maybe a bit more difficult. At least no signs, none of that sort to work with.
Some pretty cool coverage again. I think we're back in Mexico, judging by how it looks. Again, it looks a bit more north-ish, maybe even the same area we just saw. Because we do have these same trees. But this time Harrier opts for Chihuahua. Last time we did see Karania going Chihuahua, but the question now it's the opposite.
Yep.
The question is, does Karania let himself get gaslit by the fact he just went Chihuahua and it was more towards Durango? This time he chooses to go Durango.
Complete flip.
They switched their guesses, really.
They do indeed. Let's see who's going to be on point this time around. Harrier feeling confident about the northern side. Karania still 7 seconds to try and reposition, but it's going to be Harrier. Closer once again. Big distance in between the two, and that is going to be game. We are in 1-1 territory. Karania not going to get 3 points off of this match, but could still get the 2.
Yeah. Harrier definitely did not skip his Mexico lessons. I mean, 2 guesses in 50-kilometer radius, pretty much. As we go into NMPZ, starting off with something. Looks like Argentina, looks like Southern, because we have some pretty barren landscape here. Now the question is, who knows the roads?
Yeah. How far south do you dare to go? Is that mountains on the right side in the very distance? Or...
I was considering that. I feel like it just only looks
low clouds. Yeah.
If it is mountains, Mendoza could make a lot of sense here. As we see both of them in a similar area. It is Mendoza.
Was mountains.
So there were mountains.
Up towards the north, a little wave comes through. It's 36 damage confirmed onto Karania. Smile on his face as well, going, oh, damn it. That was one I could have gotten a lot more out of.
I feel like both of them may be considering that there were mountains. Meanwhile, pretty easy Colombia here. Or Mexico, but I feel like Colombia is more likely with the pavement. Not much I can really explain here. And, whoa, area in Brazil, Karania in Colombia,
Big
and
damage.
we have a lock-in.
Some might call it massive, chat. You know what that means. It's not enough to be game, regardless, but it is gonna be Colombia, Harrier. Big damage come through. 5,700! Wow! There was a world where that was game, but not quite. He stays in with 218 health.
Well, you know, it's at least something to work with, and he does get another big country. We are back in Indonesia for a change.
What does Karania do here? Does he just insta-guess to put pressure on Harrier? I feel like that's the play now when you have so much more health to work with.
I mean, the worst part is you don't want to hedge too much, because if you lose a game like this, you will hate yourself for it, especially if in Karania's position. But you need those points so desperately.
You could still vibe guess this and be...
He's hedging the entire
gonna
country.
hedge. If he's hedging here, I feel like he should have done it earlier. But that's just me. That's just me saying it. And it is going to be him closer despite the hedge. He's going to win it. Karania wanted the 3 points, but at least he's going to get the 2. Get himself a victory. 2-1 over Harrier.
Yeah, I mean, Harrier, impressive no-move match. Meanwhile, Karania on point in NMPZ.
Yes.
But I feel like the Colombia round was fairly gettable, so something Harrier can work in. But it's always nice, because the worst feeling is if you don't know what to study next. So Harrier has something to study.
That is true. That is true. As we get that game to a close. What a day it's been so far today. Some really big swings and momentum. As we can see here, first set of games have come to an end. Zigzag beating Clement 2-0. And Lennli taking on Eamon. He lost the first game, Lennli, that is 2-0. But now, turning it back, getting himself one of those rare 2-0 wins. He's been looking forward to them for a long time. And finally, they come his way.
Finally, 2-0 victory for Lennli. And also, Zigzag could have gotten away with 2 2-0s, but we did have the technical difficulties in the game with his Harrier. So, only 4 points, but that's still going to be nice for him. As we see, a lot of movement in the top. We see Lennli moving up, we see Leero moving up, we see Zigzag moving up. Everyone going up and up.
Lennli making his way inside the top 12. That's where he wants to be. He wants to be feeling good. Sat up there. Currently in 6th on the EMEA leaderboard. But as you can see, it is incredibly close down behind him. And with 5 weeks still, I mean 4.5 at this point, weeks still left to play. I mean, you could screenshot this right now. And outside of the top 5 in EMEA, it could look so different.
Yep, Exactly, and we also see Amen moving away from that 6th spot in Apex, something I definitely see happening. And now it's really, can Spaghetti hold his place against Karania? We did see only 2 points by Karania today of 6 possible, so in theory he could have already moved up into 6th place. So we're definitely gonna keep an eye on Spaghetti versus Karania and also Gingy versus Ocean. I feel like those are pretty interesting because it's only pretty much 2 players competing. Meanwhile in EMEA, I mean, who knows what's happening? Function is on the rise. Clement was on the rise, now took a 2-0 loss against Zigzag, so little stump there, but Zigzag is somebody you can lose to. Also somebody like Armani, so definitely gonna be interesting weeks to, you know, conclude the World League, but we do have a few more weeks to go.
Definitely gonna be a close race. Now, if you didn't hear earlier, you can do !APAC in chat to get all the info, but the APAC major tickets have gone on sale. So if you want to go to Japan, if you want to watch a GeoGuessr professional tournament inside of the Tokyo Tower, make sure to get those tickets now, because there's only so many available. It's a one-day event, so get the tickets now, because you don't want to miss out on it if you have a chance to go, that's for sure. So with that said, we're going to go to a quick break. Once again, when we come back, we're going to get the Japanese representative Sheena taking on Stran. Good games, don't go anywhere.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup. Denmark. Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings. World-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably. I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.
2, 1. And we're live, ready to start the show. As we get going here, welcome back everyone from the break. It was a quick one of that because we have so many games that we want to broadcast for you here today. Next up, we're gonna have 2 players who also are fighting up towards Swan, wanting to log in, wanting to get himself some points going here. So Siggy, as per usual, please talk to me about these 2 guys.
This will not be an easy introduction because we do have some players that are both similar level, I feel like, in skill, but I can't really predict any game modes going either way. Maybe Sheena a bit more in the moving mode. I have him as my favorite, but the rest is kind of up for grabs. And, you know, that's kind of good for a change to not be able to tell anything really what's about to happen. It's going to be high quality regard.
Definitely. Sheena, player we know who likes to take his time in his guesses. We'll see if Stran is going to allow for him to do that or if he's going to be swift with the trigger here today as well. Stran, Sheena, Poland versus Japan. As you can see, Stran taking his time usually on his guesses as well with 38-second guessing times. Sheena right there next to him.
Yeah, we do see in the stats though that Stran's performance so far has been better than Sheena's overall, but that does not mean that this game has to go like it. We also see the precision stat is higher on Sheena's side.
Yeah.
Sheena just has these, like, you know, common errors or like blunders in some guesses, so that explains why his precision overall is pretty high, but there's just these few guesses that he makes that are bad.
Yeah,
but if he can avoid those, he can win this.
Oh, definitely. Sheena would love to get himself a nifty 3 points over this one. Stran, though, as well, would want them. He's currently set 4 points behind Sheena. So with a good game here, that could really slim down that margin. But let's get it going. Game number 1. Both starting off at 6,000 health. And now, yep, cars can move. They'll start going, but Sheena not really going to take his time here. I think he's just going to hop straight into Panama.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward Panama. We do have, like, some kind of river flowing here. Might be findable, but this is a pretty relaxing first round. Let's calm down for a second here.
Let's chill.
Take a moment to appreciate what we have.
And then we go to America, and then we go somewhere else, then we go back to America, and then by the end of this game, we would have been in America at least 50% of the rounds. So, I mean, you know what, everything considered, considering how small this country is, at least they have quite a bit of distance in between them. Sheena looking to go over towards the western side. Stran's at just north of Panama City. And it's gonna be Stran on point, here to kick things off with the...
So close!
5k -1, feels bad, man.
5k -1 indeed. 176 meters on some maps that's in the threshold of a 5k, but on this custom map it is not, because we do not have the South Pole location. And we go into Thailand. Well,
plenty of science available. Do you know your area codes? Do you know your phone numbers? That would be convenient because they're...
O2 is Bangkok.
Well, that's not where Stran is going, but of course it is a truck.
What?
It could be...
It does say Khon Kaen though on the truck.Ait, that is very conflicting.
It's a bait truck. It's a bait truck.
It was found for free. It should be Khon Kaen then, because for free is also northeast.
Oh no.
Very interesting though to see O2 phone code on the northeastern name.
Well, it could be that the company is based in Bangkok and then they just have trucks that are parked elsewhere, you know?
Maybe. I mean, that makes no sense.
Nonetheless, always good to test the meta sturdiness of these players. Which do you commit to? The city name written on the car or the area code? And this time around, they were both somewhat correct in their guesses, as we do go into round number 3.
Now, the thing is, on Greek Trashprint, it technically says the city, so if you know your Greek cities, and it seems like Sheena is somewhat confident, it doesn't line up perfectly. I don't see that. It does not say Heraklion on that, so he might still be close, but it shouldn't be the exact city.
Let's see who's gonna get the guess in. Stran moving up the coastline. Should have moved a little bit further. He would have been on point with it. Sheena, a frustrating one there, taking almost 2,000 damage in round number 3. Not what you want to see happen. Gotta shake it off. You can see, literally shook it off there. Get those shoulders in place. Posture check, chat. That goes out to all of you as well, laying there on your couches, enjoying your Sunday. Posture check, posture check. We're all getting old. Don't want to get any back pains going. As Sheena repositions, gets ready for round number 4.
Round number 4, we did just see Sheena, you know, he should have taken a bit more time. Usually he takes his time, and the one time he does not take his time, he makes a mistake there, because you could definitely see those two placings were different on the bin and on the map, although they were quite similar. And we do have a sign to Uppsala and Sala, so two big cities.
If this says Øresundsbro, 21 kilometers away, that would literally be the bridge to Denmark from Malmö on the very southern side. But I feel like Øresundsbro is somewhere else, so don't get baited, chat. Don't get baited, because Uppsala, as you can see, is definitely further towards the north.
Isn't the bridge called Øresund?
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Øresundsbro could be a bait if you're misreading it by one letter. Go by the Uppsala 26 kilometers instead. I feel like that's the better guess. And they're both going to be on point. Yep, both going to be close to it. Sheena, one intersection off. Stefan almost getting the 5k here once again.
Again, if Stefan just lines it up, he has another 5k. That could be 2 5k by Stefan already.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but not quite the case.
And this is good for Sheena, because he is very good in Argentina, and you also see the prediction coming in. Something I definitely know about Sheena is that he is very knowledgeable in Argentina. Definitely a country you can really learn.
He's zoomed into the northern part of the country, up towards the Paraguay border. We'll see if he's going to end up committing to it or not, as they both start zooming down the street. Kind of running side by side here, both in the same direction.
They're side by side right now.
Neither of
Sheena
them.
has fallen a bit behind. Oh no.
It's a race! It's a race! Who's going to get to info first? I don't think any of them really will, because that road is long and straight, and yeah, just keeps going forever. And now we're down to 15 seconds.
Yep. Does not seem like moving will get you anywhere really, but at some point you just have to commit in a direction and don't turn around anymore.
Should have gone west instead, is what they're both starting to realize now. But they have to commit to the guesses. Sheena's going to go further south, down towards Buenos Aires. Even further south now with that guess, as it's going to be right in between him. Had he stayed on his initial hunch on the northwestern side, that would have been practically on point. Still though, out victorious in this round, but could have been a lot more damage come through.
Yep, but he stays true to his precision in Argentina. And it looks like we're back in the Scandinavia. This time though, it looks like we're in Finland.
Yep, that's where Sheena's going.
Now Finland also pretty well-signed country. Both of them stuck in the underpass right now, funnily enough.
Nothing worse than saying, no, get me back up on the highway. But, I mean, not that it's a highway here, but nothing worse than being thrown into a tunnel. Good info available here for Stefan. Sees
Number
the
8,
road sign to Oulu. Any Suomi fans in the chat? I only know a few words in Finnish, and none of them are stream friendly.
Sheena found a town because it did say Rahe on a building there, so I feel like both of them will get the right city.
Is it a bait building? Is it not? We're about to find out. Stefan looking towards the same area as well, but he's going to be off by a bit. Sheena able to get another good round here. Both of them, really, I mean, playing incredibly well right now. Stefan just short of 2 5Ks thus far. Sheena could have had one there as well.
Not too bad for Stefan, still close enough. Could have been worse if he didn't find any signage. Now we go into Philippines. Also, if you find a sign, it usually gives you the exact address and every pro can find it. But the question is there even a building on this road that has a sign like that?
Good question. Good question. They're gonna keep going
We do have
for a bit.
opposite directions, so maybe one of them will find something.
There was a building there. Looked more like a shack though. Stefan went straight past it. Didn't even up to stop and take a look. But now, yet another one. Feels Batman. It's still loading. The building, that is. Not fully finished yet. Stefan gonna continue down. He has made it into the city. Sheena went the other way. He has a road sign, but Stefan is getting info.
Misamis Oriental. That is on Davao. Yes, that is a very good sign for Stefan. That's gonna be good points. Oh, what? Sheena without a sign getting it as well.
Yep, same island, but further down towards the southeast now. Micro readjustments, pushing him further up towards the north. It's right up there on the tip, out on the peninsula. Both of them with very, very qualified guesses here in this round.
Honestly, that is one of the best results Sheena could have gotten without having any information. Meanwhile, Stefan getting the pretty much address there. So, good save by Sheena there. Good region guess without information.
definitely.
And we do spawn in an urban environment for a change.
First of in a while.
So this time, a lot of information to work with.
Then it becomes the question of, do we get info overload? Is there simply too much text for you to read through in order to try and decipher what's actually valuable and what isn't? They're both going down the streets.
De Paz de Aeroporo is the town name. Paz de Aeroporo. Never heard of that.
I wanted Aeroporo to mean airport. Just because it kind of sounds like airport, but not really.
Hey, Sheena instantly zoomed in and yes, so...
Is that... I don't think it saw any like city signs saying El Silencio, but we'll see. Maybe he knew something we don't. As he's gonna come through with the guess. No, just a couple of cities off to the southwest, but good guess nonetheless.
He got the vibe, he didn't see the town name, and again, Sheena working with less information, it seems.
Definitely.
And making better guesses.
Love to see it. Love to see it. As we get into round number 9. Stran needs to, I mean, preferably you would want to win in this round, but needs to take some health off of Sheena to get things as tight as can be coming into the final round 10.
Yeah, and we do have a town name here. It was Zwaring. I think. It looks a lot like southeastern Austria, though, with the houses painted in yellow. Now the question is, can these players find anything to confirm that, really? Maybe an address there.
Address, something along those lines. Seems like Stran didn't like what he saw. He's going to continue moving forward. See if he can get something else. There should be, I feel like this is an area where you would get a street sign or a city sign at any moment. But a bus stop, maybe that's enough for him to work with. Not quite. 9 seconds left to go. It is Austria. It's not a big country, but being around 9 with 5 times multipliers could still be big damage come through. They're practically on top of one another again now, though. Despite having had the entire round to play, it's going to be a close one. Sheena showing, whew, I know I was off, but I'm thankful that Stran was too.
And he only has to come up on top a single round now.
Exactly.
So if he finds good information at spawn, he can already be happy. But he has to survive this. And it doesn't look like it's small because we are back in the US and we're coastal. Coastal US here.
Yep.
South Carlsbad State Beach, a California state
That's
park.
what you love to see. A California state park with big letters. You go, okay. Thank you, game. I had to click once to get all that info. That's pretty convenient.
I mean, that's the best you can really hope for.
Yeah. Thing is, where you're going to go with it. 5.5 times multiply. It's the very final round of this one. And so far, Sheena is set up by a bit. He's looking down the coast, down
he found
towards
it.
San Diego. He might have found it exactly. Indeed, he did. He's going to come out victorious in this moving round. Stran, hand to the face, frustrated about not being able to take that one home.
Yeah, I think Stran only made one major mistake, and it was the Columbia round where Sheena just had a very good guess without the town name given. Stran could have definitely found it. That town looked big enough as to you could have scanned it because it was pretty flat. So east of Andes is one of the areas you usually check. Mental reset
as we go. No move. Of course, that also means we go literally no buildings anywhere mode because that's what it's been feeling like today.
Yep, and this seems like a pretty standard Spain, I would say.
Okay.
It's very dry-ish with these trees planted all over. Pretty sure both of them will end up in Spain, or maybe Portugal is possible, but I think Spain is the most likely. We see a water hatch by Sheena. Not sure is considering Italy. I don't really see Italy. Pavement.
Let's see. Out of Mallorca, goes back mainland again. Sheena now hovering Greece.
And I did mention Portugal is possible.
Yeah. Could have been much more dangerous. The fact that it's actually going to be Sheena ending up victorious in this one. I think he's going to be happy with that because he was way further east. At least about to be a couple of times in that round.
Yeah, good result in the end there. Even picking up some points.
Look at that text in a no-move round. A rarity.
Gazing Bazaar. And I think both of them have an address where it says Dari Hilling or something like that.
Sheena gonna hover a bit further towards the north, not fully zoomed in. Healing now. Looking
Ooh,
towards
he found a
facing.
town.
Might have found the
He
city
found a
here.
town.
Indeed he did. Incredible last-second readjustment there from Sheena. Goes to show why you always want to take all those 15 seconds when you're giving them for free. Incredible guess by Sheena. Not gonna amount to too much damage because they're both in the right vicinity, but still, really nice last-second readjustment.
And we are back in India. This time, though, very flat, so... Instant click from Sheena in the north there in Uttar Pradesh. Makes sense, but the problem is the north is pretty long and a lot of the span looks exactly like this.
Very flat. There are some hills in the very western distance, but not sure that's something you can really use for anything in this location. Cow meta might come into effect.
He's thinking about Cambodia. I don't see Cambodia with a road like this.
Well, he was also thinking Greece and a Portugal round, but opted not to go. So maybe it's just to test his mental, see if he wants to commit or not. He's hovering Cambodia. I think he has his pin down in India, though.
Yeah,
at
I
least
think he
for
does.
now. So we'll see if he commits.
Ooh,
Zooming in, zooming out, zooming in, zooming out. You can see the mental games, and once again, Sheena happy that he doesn't second guess himself.
Yeah, thank God there. He had me worried for a second because that would be kind of like a common thing for Sheena sometimes where he just, questions his guess too much.
The re-zoom in there at the end. I was thinking, nah, it's not gonna go, but then when it does like the whoop whoop zoom in as well, it's like, oh no, 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 no. Looking dangerous. This looks Scandinavian to me. What are you thinking, Siggy?
Does seem like the typical Sweden round.
Yeah.
Especially with the rocks. I would go like a southern Sweden even. Maybe like... Yeah, south of Stockholm.
Stefan going south side Finland.
Oh, both of them in Finland now. Interesting. I mean, did not expect Finland here. That could be a good guess.
Definitely could be. Sheena's still flicking back and forth. And this is in Estonia. Okay. That's, I mean, again, it doesn't really get more difficult when it comes to trying to read the foliage there. Because it's so similar in all three areas that all guesses, you would argue, could be equally qualified.
At least this round will be pretty easy. Both of them will just click slightly south of Joburg. That is my prediction. And it seems like Sheena has already
And what sent you
followed
there?
my instructions.
Since it's so easy for you to get that guess down. What are you
flat
seeing?
field. Flat field in South Africa. I mean, where else would you guess, really?
Is it true? Yeah. Noobs, where else would you guess? Guys, come on.
I mean, come on,
Get in the
guys.
game. Just go south
Where are
of
we guessing?
Johannesburg. I mean, easy. That's exactly what they do, and you're right. Because why wouldn't you go there and take 3 damage? It's just such a good time, yeah.
3 points. Can Sheena recover from those? I don't know.
I'm not sure either. Let's see now as round 6 comes upon us.
Seems like we're back in Europe at least. Seems like a typical Bulgaria round to me. Just how the vegetation looks. First off, this tower here, this electricity tower, also very common in Bulgaria. So we do see Stefan going instantly. Seems like he's listening to me. Hello.
Could be. Could be. The
Seems
mental
like
is
Sheena
there.
has not figured out yet, but I think he will.
Yeah,
follow
he's
as
down
well.
towards Bulgaria as well. On the southwestern side, though, 3.5 times multiply. If one of these guys are on point, it could be costly. But right now, again, with the micro readjustments, Sheena moving further and further towards the east is going to get him closer, but not by much. Just a bit of damage come through there as we head into round number 7.
That was not the big blow Sheena was hoping for. Only 100
Yeah.
points, but he has 4 rounds left. Although this round will be quite hard. Ooh, wait, is this? Yeah, that's max. Yeah, add a different guess than Sheena here.
Sheena's
so,
very specific.
That is so specific.
That's
Wow.
I mean,
That looks like a 5.
that is oddly specific. That's he's got to know something. Could be
I don't
5K
know.
territory. Stefan's in the same area as well. He found a bridge. He sat just on the south side of it. He was instantly there as well.
Oh my god.
It is a couple of bridges off, but he knew instantly where we were. And a very, very needed comeback in this round for him. As we're closing into that dreaded round 10, Sheena wants to try and reduce the numbers on the side of Stran, even things up a little bit more.
I mean, as I mentioned earlier, Sheena is impressive on Argentina, and he showed it twice already.
Yeah.
And that one was
insane.
out of
And
this world,
he
really.
was there
I mean,
instantly as well. I mean, had he spent 2 more seconds, he could have probably found the actual bridge, but even his initial guess there looked perfect, so no reason not to go.
Well, now he has to region guess DOS again. Looks like we have Southern Pines here. So, who can region guess the South better? It's one of the regions where people are not quite sure how to region guess it. Between Arkansas and South Carolina, everything can look the same. Well, both of them in Arkansas right now.
Stran commits towards the eastern border. We'll see if Sheena's there to follow. Looking to go a bit further towards the west here. And it's actually all the way down south towards Tallahassee. Wow, okay.
Interesting Florida there, and that's going to be 1.5k damage. It does not feel justified, but
No, there
just the
quite a bit
difference,
of
you know?
distance. Quite a bit of distance from the both of them. But one state closer helps you out as we... okay.
We are back. We do have no front plates again.
We're playing US only today, it seems. Or US often, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I would just send something like Kentucky here, or maybe Ohio.
Well,
Pennsylvania could also be a shout.
Specifically zoomed in now as well. When he's been this specific on a quick zoom, usually it's because he knows something's up. He's done it again.
Makes a lot of sense, actually. It looks eastern, but we do have no front plates, and that does not happen in a lot of states. Pennsylvania is one of them.
Stran has a 3,000 point lead, but he's going to go Pennsylvania as well. He's towards the western border, all the way over towards Pittsburgh. We'll see if he's going to get it, or if he won't. It's going to be Sheena closer. Is this going to be enough? No, just exactly not. Stran, though, still in the game, but on round 9. The worst time to have this happen. Now he's the one that has to come back in round 10.
And we have Tracker.
Wow.
This is like the Mexico Tracker in the middle of nowhere. I know this one, but I couldn't describe to you where exactly it is.
Well, that's a good thing.
But it's like in the middle of mountains, and the coverage does not connect to this place.
801 damage separating the two here. Actually, no, that's not true. 799 damage separating the two here. Stran, you barely have to be a couple of kilometers closer, but you need to get there.
I think it was where Stran is somewhere in that mountainous area, like Sinaloa, Chihuahua border region. It was somewhere there. Honestly, though, Stran lost 4k points almost on region guessing Pennsylvania.
This is going to be game.
Tragic loss.
I mean, it has to be because it's round 10, but still. Distance in between their guesses. Sheena yet to log in. We know that these micro readjustments have helped him out in past rounds, but he's still further towards the east, further towards the mainland. It's out towards the west, and despite falling so low, he strikes back. Stran, what a round to do so in as well. We are going into an NPC.
Yeah, one singular bad region guess in Pennsylvania almost cost Stran the game. That would have been insane, but came back, and that means we do get an NPC game.
I mean, we said coming into this game that these two guys were very close in skill level, and I feel like the game is proving it right here. Sheena, round 1, instant looking towards Philippines. What are you thinking, Siggy?
Yep, instantly slam it in northern Philippines even. It looks pretty dry. That's what my guess would have been. Go north of Manila even.
Fair enough.
It is pretty risky, but it's round 1, so
Sheena's looking there now as well.
Why not do it? Meanwhile, Stran says, you know what, Siggy, you have no clue what you're talking about, by the way. Let me just guess max south.
Well, it's all quiet. His full focus is on between these two. They just have this still image to work with. What are you gonna do? Stran is south. Sheena is looking to go towards the north, and now defaulting further back towards the center. Hovering south as well. Should have stayed up there, though. They both looked up there at one point. Opted to go south again. And therefore, just 300 damage will come through. You can see Stran is kind of frustrated right now. A lot of head shaking, a lot of, You got a mental reset, my man. There's still a game to be played.
know what? Sometimes you overthink in a moment.
Exactly.
And as I said, my instant thought was, North Manila, it's dry. Come on, guys, just guess there. Then Stefan went Max. I was like, that does not really make sense. But
yeah, so much easier said than done.
It is easier said
the
than done.
pressure is on between these two. Ooh, all the way to Dakar. It's a rare Senegal. I feel like it's been a while since we've gone Senegal.
And also, if this is Senegal, this would be like the 1% of Senegal location where it's hard. But do you see the stone wall? That is pretty common in Senegal, and both of them are actually getting it.
Yep. Both headed towards the west coast of Africa. We'll see if they're gonna get it. Stefan is the first one to commit. Sheena, now you have 12 seconds to second guess yourself.
No, I don't see it. I don't see Indonesia here.
Oh, Sheena, you're baiting us. You're baiting us so hard. And once again, look at the deep, deep sigh of relief. He almost threw it. Whew. But for the third time. First it was Greece in the Portugal round. Then it was, I don't even remember, far, far east in an India round. And now, it was Cambodia in an India round. And now almost gone Indonesia in this one. For the third time. He's really playing like mental games with himself here.
Yeah, seems like it. And we are back in Europe here. We do have the dashed outer lines here. Seems like both of them agree that it's France, although Sheena's in the water.
Plonk.
Romania is also a possibility. I think the trees overall look more French.
We'll see. Stefan just sent it dead center. It's going to be France further towards the north. 100 kilometers-ish in between him. 700 damage taken on the side of Sheena. Not that it's going to be too big of a hit for now, but more often than not, we've seen 700 damage be more than enough to be the difference maker between some of these guesses.
And, Toby, do you see the grass in the middle?
I do.
Do you know what that means?
It means we're in Ireland, because that's where Stefan went.
Yes, if you trust it, you trust it.
Okay, fair enough. I trust the Irish grass. That was surprisingly difficult to say. And they both did as well, meaning that's exactly where we are.
Yep.
Let's see now. Going into round number 5. Things are pretty even. 900 points separating the two is Sheena. First one to hover in. Looking to go towards the east side of Brazil.
Yep.
Or central, I should say, yeah.
Where you get this dry coverage, or this dry landscape, I should say. Not coverage, I mean landscape actually looks like this. It's real. It's not only in Google Street View. But both of them very similar, I guess. I mean...
Yeah.
4 kilometers difference.
Right next to each other. A massive whooping 27 damage being done. Stefan will try to see if he can find a way to mint to the reset after a hit like that.
And we do get a Spain round there. It does say the road number on the small sign on the right side. I don't know if you can see it. There's like a green top. Don't think the players can read it, but Stefan is zooming in, so maybe they can. Looks like a hard read, but possible.
I'm gonna say it says 5. That's my guess.
That is not a good shout, because usually it starts with 2
You know
letters.
what? I guessed Argentina and around where everyone was in Africa, so I will live on that.
Can't really argue with that one.
Exactly. Nonetheless, these are the guys both equal distance off this time around as well. Minimal damage coming through as it takes us through to round number 7. The multipliers keep stacking. Things keep getting more and more spicy again. Just 4 points separating these two players on the world leaderboard right now. They both want that extra point to go away with.
And what a beautiful location here. And Sheena instantly zooming in. I feel like...
That was very specific.
Whoa.
Very
I kind of like
specific.
this guess. I very much like this guess. There is... still Gen 3 there with like sunset coverage, so I quite like his guess. This could be...
Yep.
Whoa.
And that, my friends, is game. 11,000 damage as Sheena takes it home. Solid victory. And you know it, when he gets rounds like that, where he instantly zooms in, locks in, clicks it, he's rarely ever off. This time around, not the case either.
Definitely feels like Sheena is just a player who sometimes shouldn't spend more time because his insta guesses in Pennsylvania or Chile were insane. And even Argentina, so...
Wow.
Yeah.
Close game. I mean, you said it coming into it. They were very equally skilled, and the game proved it right there all the way down to the end. As we go into our next match, it's already begun, so we're throwing you straight into it. It is Armani versus yet another Japanese player in Ano.
And we did see Armani earlier on the leaderboard just barely being below the cutoff for the EMEA Major, and he's already up 1-0. So if he gets a 2-0 victory here, this could be a big step. I feel like he's already basically tied for the spot then.
He needs big points. He wants over the last couple of weeks, because obviously there's still 5 weeks or 4 weeks after today's done to play. He needs to just maximize. Get as much out of this as he can. Absolutely lock in, my man, if you want to make through to the regionals.
That is true.
Going towards the northwest here.
And you know what else has to be mentioned? He really has to get the points now, because do you know who his next opponent is that we're going to watch?
Yes, I do. Someone who's pretty decent. Decent.
Maybe not the best chances for Armani to win that one, especially in the moving game. I don't really see it happening, but
yeah, we'll see.
Let's focus on this game. One game after another. We do see another US round, something we haven't seen
They're
today.
Flying all over the place.
Yeah.
Montana, Oregon, Idaho, Washington. You have Ano all the way down towards the south. What's it gonna be? Right in between them, Oregon, the only place where I don't feel like Amani went in this round. Good thing for him is he's still gonna come out victorious, but could have been an even bigger hit had he been closer.
But still on the flawless. And we go onto a Philippines round, it seems. As we see, Armani does not like Philippines, apparently.
Now he does. It just took some convincing. Now he's there. It's just a plonk it. No reason to spend too much time, limited info to work with. Or is it a qualified central guess? Well, regardless, they're going to be practically equally far from the target. 120 points. It's going to remove Amani's chances of a flawless.
I mean, the Toksooks were not northern and not southern, so it has to be somewhere in the middle. Now the question is whether the people know the difference or not.
Qualified hedge. That's what
Qualified
I
hedge,
you say.
yeah.
Yep.
And an instant send yet again in Malaysia. I quite like it. Should be Malaya with the road. Also the pole fits.
Yet another qualified hedge with Anu, Northern Thailand.
Thailand, that's a round pole.
Oh, my man. He
A round pole, and it also does not look like Thailand at all. I think this might be game.
Could very well be. You have one guy closer. Yep, you've already seen the GGs come through in the chat. That's Anu. Missing crucial info there in this round. I was mainly paying attention to Armani's screen in that one, but it seemed to me like Anu was almost exclusively looking the opposite direction of where that pole was. And then in the very last second, he looked at it and went, oh no.
Oh no.
I don't think he caught it before the last moment, and then at that point it was just too late to change.
Yeah, that was a pretty quick game for us. We came in when Armani was already 1-0 up, and then it was a pretty quick game for him. But he takes the 3 point and is now tied for 12th place with V89. But
we're trying to beat the world record of how many games we can broadcast in a row, guys. So let's get straight into the next match.
Another game.
Else we have Swan Gambit against Amaran, who just took a massive hit on an almost 5k. Oh, wow. We really are flying through these matches.
Yeah, I mean, this game, you know, I feel like for both players, it's about, you know, closing this World League with, you know, a positive end. But both of them, I think, are out of the contention of qualifying for either APAC or EMEA. They're very far down the list, but you know, you don't want to get last place at least, so I think they're both going to try their best. And we see one Gambit already up 1-0 and taking the lead in no move.
Definitely. You only get so many chances to get some really good competitive games in, and this of course being the very best platform to do so in a World League of this caliber. Amaran, first one to lock in on the western coast of Mexico. Swan Gambit still yet to even open the map. We'll see where he ends up going.
Well, it seems somewhat west coastal, but I don't know where exactly.
More damage come through on that one. Swan Gambit able to stay in the lead by quite a margin at this point. 4,000 points separating the two as we get into round number 6.
Yeah, probably something that is better for Swan Gambit just because he is from Europe, is getting a European round.
Could be.
Like you get just a slight advantage. Just knowing what your own country looks like, you can already exclude that one. And we do have this church which only exists in Austria and Germany, and there should be Austria because we have no car, I think.
Well, Amaran first to lock in this time around. Swan Gambit, once again, yet to open the map. Down under 5 seconds left to play now as he's going to quickly zoom in. Go south side Austria, and it was towards the west. So,
yes,
minimal damage come through.
That's what I meant. This church only really exists in, like, Bavaria and, like, the northwestern part of Austria. There's definitely something you could get just by knowing the churches. Know your churches. Easy.
Among the trillion other things you should know.
And you know what? This is pretty rare because we are in North America and we have an antenna, which you get in national parks across the US but also Canada sometimes.
Interesting.
But it shouldn't be too hard to get the US just because you literally have a sign saying slow. So what country can it really be? As to where exactly, I don't know.
Let's see. Amaran is all the way down in Arizona, border to New Mexico. Swan Gambit's gonna go a bit further north, one state further north, that is Northside Utah. Looking to go there. It is on the western border, but still, it's gonna be him closer, and you see the GGs come through already. He knows it, and there you have it. Swan Gambit able to get himself a 2-0 victory.
Yep. Good for Swan Gambit to get a few points while the World League is still lasting. And I think him and Yannick are kind of fighting for who is getting like the last place in the EMEA.
Still, you want to make it look good. You want to come out with a result that you can be proud of, and that 2-0
and they also get money,
feel good.
So
that too. You're gonna be pretty happy with netting yourself 3 points in that round there. Here you can see the scoreboard as it sits right now. Finbarr was taken down. Fennip 2-1. Swan Gambit we just saw there 2-0. Armani 2-0. Sheena with that exciting 2-1 over Stran. As we get ready for the next set of matches, we get to see Blinky take on Amaran, and we get to see Consus versus Fennip. Incredible matches coming your way in just a short moment. Which one of these two are you most looking forward to? Diggy?
I feel like Consus Fennip, just because I'm excited to see the moving game of that matchup. It could be pretty close, although I feel like Consus just has too much experience. But, you know, Fennip always can pull an upset in moving because that's what he's really good at. Armani, Blinky, I don't really see Armani having a sliver of chance in the moving game.
Well, you say that, but he needs
Blinky
the
did
points.
make blunders before, so...
Definitely.
Possible.
We've seen it. We've seen
against
it.
Spaghetti. Against Spaghetti, he had a pretty awful moving game, so if something like that happens again, it could be possible, but it's going to be very hard.
Definitely will be. Not fun trying to take down the world champion. As you can see here, the majors have been announced. It's been a while, so hopefully you've already made plans to attend one of these. All of them amazing events. The APAC major tickets are going on sale tomorrow. Make sure to hop on in now and write APAC in the chat. You can get the links that you need to get to if you want to go to Japan on May 18th and watch the major final there. Also, America's Major, as you can see, in Dallas for DreamHack, EMEA Major at Glitched in Jönköping. So much incredible GeoGuessr coming your way. And of course, it's all gonna be rounded off in Copenhagen, Denmark on August 29th to 30th, where the World Championship Finals will be held. You can hop in, you can get your tickets now, and if you want to add to the prize pool, you can subscribe here on Twitch. All those money go directly to the prize pool, so we only make it bigger, we only make it better. And not only, of course, do you get your sub here, you get all the cool emotes, but you also get to be part of the weekly raffle where people will be winning cool merch from GeoGuessr. And I'm just gonna go back and chat because I forgot the name.
No 21,
but
it's the winner.
There you go, the winner of last week. So make sure that if you have subbed here, keep those DMs open. Make sure to check in because the moderators will write to you if you have won. So congratulations to all winners, and for the potential winners to come, best of luck because the raffles are cool. You can get hats like these, you can get all different hats. I have pins lying around
or
to show you, but
this.
they're all without reach. Oh, a shirt like that. A lot of the cool stuff coming your way. But the next thing that's coming your way, not quite as cool, but needed. We're gonna go to a quick break, and then when we're back, it's gonna be Armani versus Blinky.
fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup. Denmark. Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings. World-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably. I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.
One more set of matches await us here before we take a short break. I go over do my show, and then we get even more games later tonight. What better place to be on a Sunday than here to watch some amazing GeoGuessr action? For those of you guys tuning in just now, I'm Toby, joined by Ziggy, or Der Ziggy, and we are moments away from getting what could be, and probably will be a very interesting match coming. It's going to be Blinky versus Amaran. I feel like a world champion goes, I mean, without needing a
you meant Armani, right? Not Amaran.
But yes, Amaran. Yeah, I can't think. Armani. There you go. We just saw Amaran. My brain is malfunctioning. We were seeing too many matches in a row, as Armani will take on the reigning world champion Blinky. Talk to me a bit about these two players and their playstyles, Blinky.
I mean, Blinky, the Blinkster, probably the best player of GeoGuessr all time, has to be said. Second, maybe is Consus, but there's a big gap after that. And especially the first game we're gonna play is gonna be moving, which is his specialty. Meanwhile, Armani hates moving. We saw Armani just insta-send over and over in moving games. Sometimes it was, successful, sometimes it wasn't. Against many people, he might have a chance by insta-sending just to put on the pressure, but Blinky does not really feel pressure. He has played too much of this game.
In all stages that it comes with as well. He sat there in front of massive crowds and brought home world championships, even when against the odds. So this right here, I mean, 84% on the top. That's insane. Absolutely insane. 29 matches played, currently tied with Consus up there in the top, and for good reason. A very, very solid player who we have, though, seen not be immortal. Moments have come through where wins didn't go his way, but they are few and far between. So let's get straight into it. And what better place to start, Ziggy?
Then the wonderful province of Saskatchewan. We did have the white triangle on the wooden signpost. Good matter to know. Only in Saskatchewan. Now you know. And we do have a town name. Carndruff. Does not sound like the biggest town.
In before Blinky knows it anyway. At least he's scanning for it.
I mean, he's scanning, so I'll give it a chance. Oh my god. He did find it.
Yep. That's the world champion. That's the world champion. He just knows. Let's see if Armani can find it. 3 seconds. Has yet to even open the map. I'm not sure if there's some issues. Did he not?
Yeah, it seems like we had some difficulties. Nice guess, Blinky, but...
Yeah, the worst thing is you just come to expect this from Blinky. It's like, oh, he didn't even 5k? Pfft, is this even Blinky? What? I mean, that's...
No 5k. This guy is bad.
I'm assuming, based on Armani's facial expression right now, that there might be some issues happening.
Yeah, I mean, I expect Armani to get more than 0 points.
Usually, Armani would get more than 0 points in a round like this. So I'm assuming that there is a little bit of a tech issue, which we will have the admins look into. They're going to replay round number 1. So despite Blinky getting himself a very, very good guess in round 1, don't worry, guys. Do not worry. He will make more of those high-quality guesses, because that is what we're used to from a man like the world champion Blinky.
Yep, and we do see a prediction was made in the chat, and we do see 93% of people or of points have been put onto Blinky.
Everyone playing it safe. What?
But we do have 7% on Armani, and the payout would be 13x. So
it's good money. Or channel points.
And somebody could lose 100k points betting on Blinky. So
oh no. Somebody could be in trouble. We are, of course, getting the game reset as fast as can be, so these players don't have to sit around here and wait for too much longer. But things are getting spicy, both on screen and amongst the chatters out here, trying to get their guesses on in. 13 times back. I don't even know.
I have a quiz for you. If you look at both their player cams, is there any similarities you notice?
They both take up the bottom 20% of the screen.
What about what's on top of their head?
Oh, it's a beanie brawl.
Yep.
It is the beanie brawl.
Beanie versus beanie.
And instantly Blinky locks in.
What?
Because he knows. He's been in this exact intersection before.
It says the town name on this small sign. But why does he know this town name?
I mean, he knows all the town names. Whenever we make the meme of just know the entire world, that is the world Blinky lives in.
Bro.
1.6 kilometers off. Welcome back, Armani. That's what it feels like.
Well, you know, it kind of... We are back where we left off. So...
That's insane. I said it, chat. Doesn't matter that we skipped the first one. We're going straight back into it. As Armani, now, if he wasn't aware before, now at least well aware, the pressure is going to be on. Blinky, closer here, once again, continuing to dwindle Armani's health.
Interesting, Blinky is playing into it. He also guessed the exact same time, so he's like, you know what? I'm not only better at you at moving, I can also just insta-guess better than you.
Again, trying to change the
We're back in
pace
South
here.
Africa.
Second South Africa.
We see
in
4.997
3 rounds.
average in moving
That's
for Blinky.
absurd. That is absurd.
Yeah, that means 2 rounds, 1 5k, 1 4.996 or something.
All 10 rounds and all of them being up around there as well. This time around, now at least his average is going to fall a little bit as he takes a solid whooping 4 damage. And no flawless rounds for our world champion.
Yeah, one could say Blinky fell off. No
Yeah, he's
5K
washed.
there.
He's washed. Might as well just end the career here and now.
Ooh, and Parana 090 road number. Who finds it?
Well, my guess would be Blinky, but we'll have to wait and see. He has a 700 average better than Armani here.
But in a round like this, it shouldn't matter. Both of them found the important information, which is the road number.
That is true.
Now the question is, does Blinky go for the 5k?
Well, knowing Blinky, he could. 25 seconds to work with. It's a rare, longer round. He gets a road somewhat lined up towards the north there. Not sure if it lines up perfectly, but almost. And we'll be closer on this one as well. 700 damage taken on the side of Armani as we get into round number 5.
Yeah, so far exactly as we expected. But, you know, Armani, you know, might lead him astray and insta-guess in a later round to catch him off guard. Because so far he's actually playing moving.
Yeah?
He's moving.
He's moving around. Oh, we
But-
said that too soon, maybe.
Now he sends and he found it. Oh my, this is so unfortunate. This is so
95.
far north. This is very far north. It is gonna be big damage.
Could potentially be game 3 times
Oh my God, he
multiplier.
found
He is
it.
in Jörn. He's in the city.
No,
29
no.
meters off. That's a 5K, and that is gonna be game.
What was that? It was the quickest fight. That was insane. I mean, this guy is just insane. Like, what?
What?
I mean, he even moved to the information. It wasn't even at spawn. He had to move there. But after that, it was like 8 seconds from information found to 5k. 29 meters.
That's insane. Absolutely insane. We talked about cyborgs earlier. Well, you're seeing one right now. The mastermind, which is Blinky, just got himself a moving win. Now we go no move.
We do go into no move. And it seems like we started off in Tasmania. And that is exactly where Blinky is. Like northeastern Tasmania is a good guess here, but who really wants to region guess Tasmania, if you're being honest? Now the question is, does Armani also go Tasmania? No.
No. Ooh, looking to go
considering-
towards the west.
We do have the light blue car, which is also common in WoW, but I feel like this should be... Oh, wait. Armani's cooking.
Okay. Okay, Armani, we see you. We see you. Blinky, a little smirk there. I guess I can't be right every time. But Armani, looking to claw back into this one.
Well, you know, the only bad part about that guess is that it was only round 1 in any
That is true.
later stage. It could have, and now we
Wait,
see
what?
a massive split. We see max north and max south. I feel like this looks northern, no?
Not even main Hokkaido, out on one of the smallest islands towards the west. Blinky, hovering towards Taiwan now.
I mean,
Are we gonna get a round 2 game if Armani's on point?
this looks like an island outside of Hokkaido. Yeah.
Oh, now
I
they're both
agree.
there. Blinky is joining him.
I kind of agree with very far north. And now we will see Armani
Oh, they're
going far
swapping!
north.
They're swapping!
They swap.
What are we witnessing? They just swapped their sides of Japan. Now
by the way,
Armani
this
is
is-
going south.
This is so far away from each other. This could be... And no, please don't tell me.
This would be insane. No, Armani,
Oh,
you
another
had
5K.
it. He had it, and Blinky
Oh
steals
my
the 5K.
2 5Ks to end the game and
What
a 1
a
round
turn.
victory. Oh my god, what a game. I mean, a quick game, but honestly, I enjoyed this game.
What a turnaround! Had
places.
Armani insta-locked, he would have won it, because Blinky would not have had enough time to second-guess himself north. What a turnaround.
You know what they say these days?
They literally did this.
Cinema. Straight cinema.
Wow. I want them to know now. Like, I want them to know what just happened, because obviously they don't know that the opposing player bounced around like that. Whenever they go into the replay file, then hopefully, I mean, one of them is going to be laughing. The other guy's going, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. But that right there is GeoGuessr in its best shape. That's cinema. That is quite literally cinema. Entertaining, for sure. For Armani, frustrating, because he really would have wanted those points. We were talking about it before when we looked at the regional leaderboards. He wants to qualify, but getting a 0 point, of course, again, it's against your world champion, so you can't expect too much. But he really would have wanted at least 1 point off of that game.
No, I mean, I feel like he wasn't going in expecting too much, but going out with 2 back-to-back 5Ks and pretty much getting 1 round is pretty harsh.
And in the locations they were into, Blinky 5K northern Sweden, and then getting that island there in the end too. Which, in fairness, Armani was on for a while as well. But we talked about it earlier. Those second guesses, sometimes they feel amazing. Other times, they come to bite you. And this time around was not the case that Armani would have hoped for. So that's going to be a swift 2-0 for Blinky. And now we're going to set up for the next match. It's going to be between Finbarr and I believe Consus, or Consus and I believe Finbarr, I should say. Siggy talks to us about these 2 players.
I mean, don't really have to introduce Consus to anyone. I mean, anyone who has followed anything GeoGuessr related has come across that name. The first GeoGuessr World Champion who beat Blinky in the final. In the second one, also had decent performance, but went out pretty early against Blinky, and Blinky really showed that. And that year, Blinky was way better than him. But he is back and has been as consistent as ever, mixing up the World League. On the other hand, Finbarr, a newcomer on the scene, has made a pretty good run so far. Definitely has very good chances of qualifying for APAC. Not guaranteed, but pretty much guaranteed. Now it's just about getting a few points here and there to, confirm that. But it's been played pretty well so far. Definitely started off as pretty much a moving main player, but also now has put a lot of work in no move and NPC as well. So I feel like he can put up a better fight in those modes as well. But I'm very excited for the first game.
Has his suit-wearing avatar. Let's see if he's playing wearing the suit today as well. Finbarr, I had a good chat with him last week. You can go find that video online. As you say, he wants to climb further up. He is 1-2-0 away from top 12, or at least even 2-1 away from breaking in to the top 12. So would be good for him to try and make that happen.
Yeah, to be fair, he's played a lot of matches already, 34. That's one of the highest values of the league. So, I mean, even if he gets into the top 12, I feel like he will drop out. But he still has the chance of getting a lot of points in the major. But let's not yap too much and start the game.
Start game. Get right into it. We have had no Danish rounds today, by the way. I should just want to add that. So, game, if you could throw one in there, that'd be kind of cool. Albania is where Finbarr is initially looking. Consus yet to open the map, still scouting for info.
Yeah, we do have like red number plates, and in Europe, that's pretty much only Albania. And we see Finbarr lining it up. We did have some type of old castle next to us.
Yeah.
And there's a Tirana castle POI, so maybe that's that, but...
Could be. Could very well be Consus trying to line up the 5K, both in the same city. Minimal damage will probably be coming through here, but still, we have yet to see a 10K today, so why not give it to us, guys? Let us have it. Let us line it up. Let's see if you can get it. Plenty of old buildings in this city to try and go with as Finbarr. Last second readjustment, but both off. And one damage.
Finbarr taking the lead here.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a hard one for Consus to strike back from, that's for sure.
I mean, you can screenshot this and say, I flawless Consus.
True. True. There is that. If they just both 5K all the way to the end, he could win in round 10 with this scoreline. But not going to happen, I would imagine.
Oh, we just saw a Texas flag. This does not look like Texas, though.
Yeah. I would probably just go to Chile.
Well, you would be correct.
Aha! Love to see it. Love to see it, but where are we? They're going up and down this same street.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the movement is too well here.
Yeah.
Here.
Hovering back and forth between the same 5 grids. It's it's a no move round in a in a moving game.
Oh, you know, I think what happened is that the coverage is broken in both directions, so you can't move.
Heels, no move.
Yeah, I think the movement is broken in both directions, so both of them, you know, they still have the same information.
Happens. They get to walk up and down the same street for a bit, and they get to be almost equally far from the target as well on each their side. Now, no flawless to come through for Finib. You can see that's why he's shaking his head, going, "Oh, I was really hoping to flawless Consus, but not today. Not today."
It was amazing while it lasted, but now Consus back on top. As we go into a nice little France round, now the question is, who can find a phone code and who knows their phone code?
River information for Consus to work with. Not too crucial, I think. It's gonna move on, see if there's more useful info to work with. What part of France are you thinking of what we're seeing here?
Just northeastern.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nope, that's just village info.
07 sadly was a mobile code. And you can see, Consus checking the storefront, and we see 02, that's northwest, and 05 should be more south. Oh yeah, I quite like Consus' guess.
Consus got down to got to the city square, found some good signs. Finib has a couple now as well.
Ooh.
Oh, he might have it. Yep, now going out to line up the road.
Ooh, no time sadly, but he should be very close.
So. Yeah. Good round for him. Finib further up towards Paris. Not gonna work out for him. 1200 damage taken as Consus slowly but steadily starts separating himself.
Yep, Consus being as consistent as ever, finding information. Now this time I feel like there will not be that much information available. It seems like we're in Russia here with the red backlight on the car. That definitely, you know, smallers the possibilities of regions. Although, wait, we have antenna cars in Sweden. I'm not sure, can't really see the car as we speak.
We had a pole that we came by just then. Now, finding some buildings
then.
up close as well.
Sweden.
Don't go Russia.
Not Russia to Sweden.
Consus skipping the... unless if he's just insta-reading. He just went past those city signs. Now staying with these. Nope. Yep, there you go. Coming back to it once more.
Östersund, that's a pretty big one to the north. And Matma and
was there not too long ago. Beautiful city. Let's see. He's gonna stay on the eastern side of it for good reason as well. Right next to it once more. 16 kilometers off. That's what you want to see happen if you're a Consus or a Consus fan. That's Finib now. Hovers at just over 3k health.
You know what always stands out is how Consus always seems to find the right information. Very underrated skill to find signs and knowing what direction to go in. It's kind of like such a subtle thing you pick up on after playing a lot of moving. Not something you can just learn overnight.
It's understanding layouts of cities, figuring what gets me out on the edge of the city for the bigger street signs and what keeps me in the more commercial areas.
Meanwhile, Finib this time found a very good sign. Very bad sign though, it was very bad quality, but he could read Fribourg, which is where he is right now. So he is lining up the road, finding those other town names. But meanwhile, Consus, even without the signs here, pretty close to it.
Looks like it. 12 seconds to go, make it 10, as this one is going to run all the way down to the end as well, though.
Oh.
Does Finib have
potential
something here? Is Finib cooking? Let's see. He's down by 3,000 health, but here comes the 5k to answer back. Big hit in return from Finib.
Very good scanning there, finding a small white road there that somehow leads to the town.
I love how I said big hit, and Consus is still chilling at almost 5k health.
Yeah, that looked like it would be more damage, but
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Back in Sweden, yet again, the GeoGuessr bias is kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to showcase their country. You know what Sweden's only flaw is?
It's not Denmark?
It's not Norway.
Ah, okay. Fair enough. Wait, why are you on a Norway bandwagon all of a sudden?
I have been to Norway the past 3 years, pretty much. But I always drive through Sweden, and I'm like, okay, this country is pretty flat.
Yeah.
They need some mountains there, then it would be nice.
Should have driven through Denmark instead.
Now I'm getting no contract anymore because I said one bad thing about Sweden. Sorry.
Happens. Insta-fired. Yep, that's what happens. That is what happens. As we now, I mean, they're still maneuvering around. No big street signs, no big city signs for them to work with. Back towards the starting location they both go. As Consus goes just north of Gothenburg. We'll see which of them is going to get better. It's towards the east. Fennip, hands to the face, not thinking. I don't think that was a, oh no, I should have had that. More of a, I need to reset my vibes. And now the head bobbing comes back. Full mental reset.
I mean, you're still in it, and now the multipliers are this high. Any mistake by Consus could be exploited. But it seems like both of them finding the good info here. End up instantly on the map, as we said, prediction coming in saying, you know what, both of them are pretty good in Brazil.
Definitely are.
It's basically like a simulator. Who can find the phone code for us? And we do have 34, which is Minas Gerais. Not sure where the 34 is located exactly. As we see, Consus still looking for the phone code, but also has it now. So both have it.
Still not opening any maps, though. Looking at the streets, found an intersection, a roundabout that is. How specific do we want to be here, Consus?
Well, it said Santa Monica, but that might just be a suburb of the city. Don't think we're in California. And both of them in Uberlandia, which is, I guess, the correct city for 34, and it's pretty built up.
Why does Uberlandia sound like a theme park to me? I'm not sure. But nonetheless, that's where they're both gonna go. Consus almost lining it up. No! 1 point off! 36 damage total. 5k -1. Feels -1, man.
Yeah, not sure how he got that close. I think he just clicked randomly in the city.
Yeah, I think it was too.
Go into Switzerland here with the low camera. First thing people always check is the language. Do we have French? Do we have German? Do we have Italian in some cases?
Or do we have the mixed language of Schweizerdeutsch? That's just insane.
Well, that looked French to me. It said Kommunale. Or at least it didn't sound German.
At least you didn't make it sound German. That's what happened. As these guys still making their way through the city. Now getting out on the edge thereof. And wow, what a beautiful location. Look at this Consus view. Screenshot it. Use it as a wallpaper.
That is Italian on the sign.
Mm-hmm.
Good information. Italian, pretty limited. And now he finds even better
big info
signs,
on this
maybe.
one here. Yes, Bellinzona. Is he looking to try and stay there? Fennip is way further towards the north. Of course, it's a small country, so damage won't be that big, and especially not when their guesses are 3 kilometers apart. Just 40 damage, but now we're getting into round 9. Fennip wants to close things up here. He's down by 1,500 points, and remember that round 10 is the final round, so should we get there, then it's the player who is the most health left remaining. It's going to be on point.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty hard unless they have information. This just looks like west of Yakutsk coverage with the wildfire. Smoky coverage, hazy coverage. Now the question is, can anybody read what it says there and use that to make a guess on the road? Although, wait. Does it say Magadan? Not sure right now. No, it does not say it. Oh, he found... It said Mirny on the top. So he found that one.
A lot of info available. If you know what to look for, Fennip. Are we cooking? Are we cooking, Fennip? Let's see what's happening. Not the 5k, but close there too. Feeling good about it. And even if this doesn't win him the moving game, at least he now comes in to round number 10 with a decent-sized lead. Consus needs to strike back. Let's see if he can get it here. Info early on available, but he keeps moving.
Yep. Fennip one guess away from beating Consus in the first game. And Fennep also found the signs with these, but these could be very small. I mean, this town is called Castle. So, I feel like there could be a lot of places.
They could be. They're both in Oklahoma. Hovering north of Oklahoma City. Consus knows he's got to be quick. Yeah, he has to be quick about this one. Even if he's on point, you got to get the guess in. You cannot give Fennep too much time when he has this lead. Ooh, Fennep is southwest.
Ooh,
this distance
might be big enough.
It's definitely enough distance between them for both of them to potentially come out victorious in this final one. It's gonna be Consus closer, but is it gonna be enough?
It is.
Yes, it is! Just exactly! Oh, the sigh of relief from Consus, your former world champion. That was not easy. And my oh my, would Fennep really have wanted to take a moving game away from Consus there?
I mean, he got as close as you can get. And Consus in the last round, he didn't even find the place names. He was just like, you know what, I just vibe guess this out. And if Fennep decided to just click Oklahoma City, he would have survived. But
and again, it's the micro readjustments, right? Because in the last 2 seconds, he continuously clicked further west. Had he just stayed, I don't think... I mean, he would have still lost the round, but I don't think it would have been enough damage for him to go below the health of Consus. But nonetheless, Consus out victorious 1-0 as we go into no move and into Japan.
Yep, and we instantly saw both of them finding a 022 phone code there, which they both will use to narrow down the possibilities. Let's see who studied their phone codes better. Seems like Consus was fairly confident, instantly zoomed into Sendai.
Fennep cooking. I always get excited when I see players zoom this far into a city. Usually that's because they know something, but could also be off. Let's see. Consus might be the one in place, and indeed it is. On point with this one, 2.7 kilometers off. Fennep, we need the head bobbing back. We need the full mental reset. Can't have you looking into the sky like that. We need you ready, because this match is far from over.
Yeah, honestly pretty impressive. Consus has all this knowledge just stored in his brain. Same with every top player, honestly. And it seems like we're on the border, because it says France on the one side, and it looks like it says Belgium on the other side. So we're on the border, so it could find this, because it also says a town name.
Wait. Are you saying this is a 10K? Do the players care to make it a 10K?
Border's
is the
pretty
question, because it's definitely doable. There's quite a few different roads where you can cross, but do they care to give us a 10K? I was
checking the German border, and it should be the Belgian border.
Do they care?
Because, you know, Germany technically has almost the same length as Belgium, but Deutschland, which it should say, doesn't. So.
Yeah. Let's see. Both scanning. I like the fact that they're taking their time here, because regardless, it was probably going to be a 200 damage round. But looking for the 10K. Fennep might have something. Consus looking further towards the west. Yeah, exactly. Seems us a bit off. Is it a 10K? The rare emote that we never get to use? Nope, not quite to be. Back down towards the east. Not even a 5K. But still, we get 418 damage to show for.
Yeah, very cool round there. Not a lot of times are you between both countries, really.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Would you look at this?
Would you imagine this?
How and when have we ever?
Very interesting that Fennep has a better average score than Consus in the US.
Yeah.
So, technically the upper hand. Although this looks very nondescript, so...
What are you vibing here?
I don't know, just a random forest in Virginia.
Random forest, fair enough. Chat, what are you thinking? Give us a state at least. As Consus is hovering Tennessee. Fennep further up towards Kentucky, but now zooming out once more, not quite sure with what he's going for.
It looks very weird because the field itself seems eastern, but the rest looks like west of the Appalachian, so I don't know what side we're on. My guess would have been Virginia, but I don't know.
Majority of chat thinks east. Fennep thinks east. Consus is somewhat there with them. Still in West Virginia. Now hovering down towards the border. And it was, in fact, in Virginia. Everyone was correct, except for me and 90% of chat. We'll take that, chat, because we're not as good as the other guys.
Pretty free, Virginia, if you ask me. I'm not sure what you're on about.
Okay, easy, bro. Easy, bro.
Totally wasn't a random guess.
As we go into round number 4, easy, France.
Easy for Toby, maybe.
I don't know. This was just my vibe guess.
We do see some kind of house there in the distance. Well, the other option is UK, but I would
Yeah.
agree that this looks more
Blue
like...
car. Is there a distinction in whether it could be one or the other, if that's the thing?
Both have so
have
much
blue
blue
car.
car.
Wah. So we can't even use that. We're down to vibes.
I mean, the road itself looks so much more UK. I have to say.
Chat is not in agreement here either. Fennep is in the UK. Consus is in southern France. This is going to be huge. Unless if it's northern France, then I suppose it's going to be right in between them. But let's see. They're both committing, seems like, to each their country. Fennep locked in. Consus looking to do the same thing now. It is good. Wait.
Cornwall.
It's all the way out in Cornwall. Okay. So Fennep rewarded for being close on that one. A rarity. Like to see it.
Yeah, Cornwall can look a bit weird for UK standards. As we go into Ukraine here, both of them instantly seeing the red car here. Easy for Ukraine, but as we can see, Fennep is a Ukraine knower, it seems like.
Oh.
4.8k. You know, technically, Ukraine, one of those countries that has not been updated with Google Street View coverage in a long time. So definitely worth learning.
Yep. Big enough country for quite a lot of damage to come through here as well. 3 times multiplier added to it makes matters even worse. Fennep hovering south of Kiev. Consus still, I mean, he zoomed in right as the round started, but hasn't really looked at the map since then. Still trying to look for info in the distance. Maybe some bigger hills to work with, but now going back to the west side of Kiev. They're both going to be close to one another and practically even distance to the target. 100 damage taken as Fennep maintains his lead coming into round 6.
Yeah, I really like that Fennep is really keeping up here so far. Pretty much in both games. As we see this one. Wow, is this the... This should be the road west of Magadan. Pretty sure?
I mean, if you say it that confidently,
I'm
sure
pretty
there might be
confident.
something to
And
it.
both
There's
of them
Fennep. He's
know
joining.
it.
10k question mark? Chat,
mean,
get those emotes ready.
The stretch is very long. I highly doubt of 10k here.
Any 10kers in the chat? Let's see. Oh, Consus? Consus
Oh,
is-
no.
Oh!
Consus. No.
He's smiling.
No.
Is it bait? Is he
No,
pranking?
no. He's baiting us.
He's
There's-
smiling. Don't do it, Consus.
There's no foggy coverage there, I'm pretty sure.
Sneaky. He is playing with our heart rates here. Click. Do it. Do it for the memes. Commit, my man.
Don't click.
He's not gonna do it. He's gonna be close. Fennep is gonna be closer. But still, happy he did not go west. It must have been bait. There's no... Look at his smile. You get a rare smirk out of Consus, you know he was up to something.
I mean, the thing is, if he went there, he would have gotten like 200 points or something, even though he's
Yeah.
in the right country.
True.
Meanwhile, we do get a Peru here with a town name written. Zamanico?
Helps
The
if you
question
know where
is-
it is.
Wait, what?
Wait, sometimes they just know.
Honestly, I don't know how both of them found it so fast, but
16 damage, easy round. GG, go next. Is what they said.
I
We
guess
barely even had
so.
time to structure a sentence there. But fair enough, we'll just skip that one altogether. Head into round number 8, where Consus currently finds himself at half health. So Fennep has 3 rounds left, potentially, to try and claw back into this to get ahead before the dreaded round 10, the final round. Should we get there? For now, Fennep, he really wants to take this one into an NPC.
And we're back in Ukraine. We see Kharkiv. By Consus lining up potentially
There's
these
train
train lines. I
tracks.
mean, there are
Yeah.
4 train tracks, and they should be mapped as individual tracks, so you can use them.
Any 5Ks in the chat? There's a lot of train tracks. Oh my lord.
I mean, yes, there's a lot of
Kharkiv
train
is
tracks.
one big train track, it would seem.
And Consus just lining up the big cities, looking whether they all, some of them have matching trains. Doesn't seem like Sumi will have it. Meanwhile,
Thing is,
Bennett-
Fennep is way further south from this, so this could be very dangerous if, I mean, if one of
Wait.
them 5Ks, it's game to the other. Let's see.
This is a very specific guess, but
Logs in a second before the timer runs out. It's gonna be closer, and this could very well
not
be the time.
enough.
No, well, I mean, it's not gonna be game, but it could very well be what gets Consus to win. The one mistake that you don't want to see happen. As Fennep was sat with a solid 2,000 point lead now, playing 1,400 points behind.
And we do see an Ontario property marker there. think. Maybe find a front plate to confirm it's... Oh, we don't have a front plate, so it... Why did we not have a front plate on that? That is pretty surprising. Otherwise, I would have instantly gone Ontario here. That's kind of the area where Consus zoomed in. No front plate on that car and no front plate on that one. So...
Maybe it's just someone working on the car.
Doesn't seem like we're in Ontario.
It's baits. It's all baits. That's Finbarr. He's looking to go very eastern New Brunswick.
Ooh, there's a front plate on that car. That is interesting. Now we have a mix of...
Consus is still up towards Vermont. This could be game as well. 5 times multiplier. 5 seconds left to work with. Ottawa for Consus. New Brunswick for Finbarr. Unless if it's right in between the two. This could be GG. And it will be. It's closer to Consus. But the damage should definitely be enough. Yes, it will be 2-0 Consus. But what a hard-fought game on both fronts. Wow.
I mean, Finbarr didn't leave him any breathing room there. Last round victory in moving. Wow. That's
gotta be a big feels bad, man, for Finbarr to not walk away with at least 1 point after that one. Because,
yeah,
what a close game. What a close game. But nothing to show for Finbarr. Unfortunately. Do be like that sometimes. And Consus, again, sigh of relief, staying alive through that one. Wins it 2-0. Amaran able to 2-0 Stran as well. And Anu takes on Swan Gambit and gets himself a win there. So some very, very close matches initially that turned out to be 2-0s in the end nonetheless. The Armani Blinky game, a blink and you missed it. But outside of that, it's been some very, very close matches that we've seen here today. And here you see the overall leaderboard, how it's been shaped up ever since these matches came to an end. Finbarr continuing to climb up. Leero getting some much needed points. Lennli, Sheena, and Finbarr all climbing as well.
Stefan, we have to talk about the game he just had against Amaran. That would be nice points for him because Amaran very far down the leaderboard and Amaran actually 2-0ing Stefan was quite impressive. As we see the cutoffs here, very close. Karania 1 win behind Spaghetti, Gingy Oceanman neck to neck. Meanwhile, Armani is tied with 2 people.
Look at that! 46, 46, 46, 47, 48, and then you have 2 people set at 44 as well. EMEA is so open still. Fighting for effectively 5 spots right now. Satsu's, Yannick. I mean, Yannick might be out of the race, but Satsu still string together some good games here to end off the show. Or the World League. And maybe there's a top 12 spot for you. But he needs to really, really log in for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, gonna be tough. But we're definitely gonna take a close look on these, like, cutoffs every single time. Because they're just gonna be closer and closer as we go towards the end. There's only a set amount of games left.
Yeah, it's drawing closer to an end. Now it's when you start thinking back about all those rounds you played in round 1, round 2, week 1, week 2, and week 3, and go, oh, I could have optimized there. I could have gotten more out of this round there. It's always gonna be difficult, but of course, it's the way the cookie crumbles. And now that you see it this close, is where you just cannot make mistakes. And looking at Armani as well, I mean, Sat tied would have really wanted some points off of the Blinky game, but Blinky plays like he did. I mean, there's just no way to do so.
Yeah, not much he can do there, really.
It's tricky. It's definitely tricky. We are waiting to get this interview ready, and it's going to be a good one. After the show is over, I'm going to also talk to some of the players from today's games over on my channel. Humble shout out to myself, I suppose. So come on over there and watch the show as we again do get this interview ready. As we're just waiting for our player. We're not gonna leak who it is. Our player to get ready after what was some interesting games that player had today. It will be fun to hear from them what they thought of the matches.
Yep, definitely have some questions for him regarding the last game, maybe.
What are your biggest takeaways? Takeaways of the days of the matches today overall?
Overall, I mean, overall takeaway is Consus and Blinky are insane. In the middle, anything can really happen. That's a big takeaway. I mean, honestly, I didn't expect the cutoff to be that small. I mean, we're talking about having more game victories than another person on the same amount of points, and you're a freeway tie for the same spot. I honestly was expecting a bit more clearer picture, but it seems like a lot of people are on the same level right now.
Yep, definitely seems to be the case, and it's just drawing as near as can be. I mean, it's always amazing. We kind of suck if you saw the cutoff was 12 points right now, and like, well, yeah, we know there's 4 weeks left, but it's practically over already. As you can see, above me, up here, if you're planning to go to the Glitched Gaming Festival, and even if you weren't, but now that you see this, you want to go, make sure to use the code GeoGuessr to get yourself a discount, whether you want to go there for 1 day or all 3 of them. It's going to be a good time. Plenty of gaming in Jönköping coming this summer, June 13th to 15th. Always a good time to go to those big LAN events. And yeah, whether you're there to compete or just to watch the best people play, love seeing it. Love seeing it. Let's take a look at the schedule for tonight's games, because we were blessed with some insane games earlier and throughout the day so far, but look at what we've got cooking for you for tonight. Starting off with Moo against Blinky. Good matches coming the way too.
Yeah, Moo against Blinky, one of the anticipated matchups, and I also think in the last slot we have Debray versus RC.
Yeah.
You know, Debray on the up and coming, just climbing higher and higher, breaking into the top 5 even, I think, now. And, I mean, RC not really somebody who can be beaten that easily, but I think with the current form, Debray has a good shot at it. But Debray's specialty is US, but RC is the best US player by far, so
yep,
he can't really use that against him, I think.
It's going to be a close one, that's for sure. But now, we have been waiting for long enough, so let's get this interview with the mystery man going. Consus, my man, welcome, welcome, welcome. And congratulations on what ended up being a 2-0. But I gotta hear from you. Did it feel like a, 2-0, 3 points, easy peasy game? Or were there moments where you're like, oh, this is actually kind of tough?
Yeah, first of all, thank you. Yeah, it wasn't easy at all. Like, especially moving, I think I got kind of lucky in the last round. And no move, and I've also played very well. So, yeah, not an easy game.
I gotta ask you right off the bat, because there was a rush around where Siggy instantly knew where we were. It seemed like Fennep instantly knew where we were. It seemed like you instantly knew where we were. And yet, you felt like suddenly hovering west side Russia with a small smirk on your face. Was that just to get the heart rates going for everyone except for yourself and laughing and memeing it? Or was there actually something in you wanting to click at that moment?
Nah, I definitely consider it. Like, there were some red flowers that you see commonly over there.
Okay.
But, yeah, then again, we also had some Siberian larches, so it was kind of like a mix of clues. But yeah,
it had us all on the edges of our seats.
East.
Yep, it had us all incredibly, incredibly terrified for a second. Any questions from you, Siggy, while we have Consus here?
Yeah, I mean, I would just have a question about the last round, because I feel like everyone was like, okay, we just have an Ontario property marker, but then we saw a lot of cars without front plates. What was your thought in that round? Did you consider even Quebec without fronts or anything else?
Yeah, that's why I ended up hedging towards Quebec. Like, I saw the property marker, so yeah, instantly I thought it's Ontario. Then, yeah, like the first 2 cars I saw no front plate, so that was a bit confusing. And I know those property markers can be seen elsewhere, so but in the end I did see a front plate, so that kind of convinced me to go Ontario.
Yeah, always locked in the last round. I mean, also the Oklahoma one, it seems like both of you found the sign with that had place names, but you just would just send it anyway without finding the place names. Was there any strategy to that where you're like, okay, I'm not finding these anyway because there's a town called Castle, there's no way I'm finding that, so might as well give it a try?
Yeah, I gave it a shot for a few seconds, but then I realized, like, zooming further out, I didn't see it already, and then zoomed further in, there were so many towns, so I thought this is going to be a struggle. So I just sent, and maybe like Venom could have missed the stay, but I guess he also saw the Oklahoma play. Or he just knew.
Maybe he just knew. It did seem like both of you just knew in quite a few of the rounds today. You both played incredibly well. I want to hear from you now. We're getting closer to the finish of the World League, and you're in the race, a very close race, up at the very top. How do you feel? Like, you feel confident potentially sweeping at the very first place spot, or what are you looking at here? Where would you feel comfortable finishing off?
Well, where I'm sitting now. Like if I'm up there with RC and Blinky, I'm not complaining. So top 3 would be a great result.
And overall, obviously it's many weeks now to look back at, but overall, are you satisfied with how things have gone? I mean, I know you're a perfectionist. You want to always be the best that you can be. Are there specific weeks, specific matches even right now that you're looking back at going, oh, I could have done better there, should have been better here? Like, any moments like that you think back on?
There were definitely some moments, yes. Like my first loss was against MK, and I think in the moving game, like I didn't watch it back because I don't like watching my games back when I lose, but
that's fair.
I think there was a Johor flag if I'm not wrong, and I sent Saba, so that was a huge mistake. And then last week also I wasn't playing at my best, so but like overall, like last week I can't complain with the amount of points I got still.
I mean, I just say nonetheless, a lot to be proud of because you're playing incredibly well, and it's always an immense joy to watch you out there playing GeoGuessr. Any final shout-outs you want to do to the viewers, the fans out there before we let you go?
Well, thanks for the support, I guess, in chat and everyone watching.
There you go. Thank you so much, Consus, for joining us. Best of luck in the weeks to come in the matches that you have come in. We looking forward to see him, of course, try and see if he can claim himself a first place. But as he's saying, I mean, when you're in the company of Blinky, of RC as well, you're up there. I mean, I'm sure the 3 of them would just want to shake hands and say, let's just share that first place. They wouldn't because they're all super competitive, but they're both doing really, really good. Any final words you want to say today, Siggy, before we round off the show?
Honestly, maybe it's the first time I just say, no, I don't have anything to say, really. Just,
the game spoke for
was
themselves.
A very nice day, especially, I don't know, the Armani Blinky game was so entertaining for some reason, even though it was like the shortest game possible. I feel like so much happened in the amount of time. Maybe my brain is already, TikTok pilled and I like quick games.
Yeah.
But that was nice. Overall, a good day.
Yeah, no, it was an amazing day, and I'm looking forward to hear from Blinky in just a short moment over my channel of exactly what happened in that last north to south Japanese round. But that's going to be it for us today, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Remember, there's more GeoGuessr coming tonight in 4 hours from now, so set your timer, get ready to watch some more games. Until then, play some more GeoGuessr.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup. Denmark. Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings. World-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably. I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.